We're in losers round 3.
All right, this is round 3 of the. This is round 3 losers of the randomizer tournament, and this is between ATZ and Raikaru. It's gonna be a very interesting match. We're gonna be very excited for the winner because losers bracket is very hectic, and I just want to welcome Grim Fairy and Monstrous as commentators today. Hope you guys are doing well.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, looking forward to the race.
This is going to be an insane race.
And Mike Katz and Sonic for our trackers on this fine day. And I wish luck to the runners so far. And do you guys have any other comments before the race starts?
I'm just excited to jump into this one. This is going to be insane.
Yeah, this is our top 2 seeds. ATZ number 1, Raikaru number 2 facing off in the losers bracket early. Loser goes home, winner moves on. This should be a...
Now, you said losers bracket. If you told me ATZ and Raikaru were fighting each other, I would say, oh boy, this is going to be a sick grand finals. But this is lower brackets. What happened?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people had the idea that ATZ and Raikaru were going to just fly their way and face off in the finals, and it wound up being losers bracket semifinal.
We're off right now, just so you guys know.
We have gone.
Oh, yep, okay.
So I'm going to be out. Good luck to the racers, and I wish you luck commentary.
Thank you much. I'm liking the yellow tunic.
Yeah, this is a good color.
All right.
First chest by Raikaru is an ice chest. Nice. 2 ice chests in a row. Go for 3. Give me 3.
Might I do it? 20
right, so
rupees.
that's
Get out of here.
Rudo's litter in a bottle. Wow, I don't think I've ever seen that in the in Mido's house before.
I've seen it before, but compared to the last race with those big Gorons, I think Randobot is showing us some mercy today.
Seemingly, wow. And just Deku Nuts on the Kokiri sword chest, and Nat going for that one. We do have a bit of desync. It seems like Raikaru is a few seconds ahead of a Nat, just for what I'm looking at. So
I've got to say, it is actually really nice to get routers that are this early if you're ever planning to go into Zora's River, because now you can, when you go in there, you can just instantly unlock Ice Cavern and potentially, Jabu. So yes, it'd be great if they could also find the Boomerang and just do all of that at once if Jabu's a medallion.
Oh yeah, it's not a good feeling when you go through Zora River and into Zora's domain and don't have the Ruda's letter, especially if Jabu winds up being a medallion, and then you find it and you have to go back.
Yeah, it's even worse.
I just want to get rid of all of it at once.
Yeah, if it's just a check that's like 5 minutes later, you're just thinking, what the hell have I done? I have to walk all this way now?
Yeah, I gotta walk all the way back, and there's no easy way back. Like the closest that you get is, as a kid, is save warping back to Kokiri, and then if you have the Silver Scale, diving through the Lost Woods.
If you have Serenade and Silver Scale, it really helps a lot.
Oh yeah, that's probably the closest.
So now we're gonna see how these 2 races are gonna split up from here. They're both doing the same opening. They're heading to the South Open Grotto in Hyrule Field, but we'll see where they go from there. I believe both of these races tend to go straight to the market. Is that correct?
I know that I believe that Raikaru tends to go straight back to the market. I think a Nat favors the Gerudo Valley checks.
I've seen a Nat do a lot of different openings. It's like almost every race he does something different.
Yeah, I will say that both of these racers are very proficient at different routes. They can take what the seed gives them early and route in, a different idea or a different way. And sometimes they just decide, hey, this seed, I'm going to do it this way. And they're able to do it without.
They've probably practiced some very strange starts if they get Silver Scale and this item for just the eventuality they have it, just so they know the most efficient thing to do. That's how deep they may have gotten.
Yeah, so there is the Heart Piece in the Open Grotto in South Hyliad. Neither player actually choosing to save there. Yep. Okay, so reverse of what I said. So Nat's going to make the back run. Raikaru's going to go for, I've seen Beryl do this a couple of times. Raikaru's going to go for the Owl.
Do you think perhaps that he's not too confident on his angle and just wants to ensure he gets to the castle?
I don't think it is. I think Raikaru's pretty good at hitting that angle and everything. I think it's more, you can actually, I think that you have time. Maybe I'm wrong, but I guess I am wrong. I thought you had time to get the Scarecrow song, but this just gives you a couple extra seconds to farm rupees on the bridge if you're able to do it. It could also, like you said, it could also be nerves. He may have thought, I don't
definitely
feel
gets you there. It's a little longer because the whole owl cutscene, but you do get there with this.
Yeah, and that's actually cutting it close in his. Yeah, he thought about it. I think he thought about the chains, and then it was like, no, I'm just gonna set up for the rupees on.
No, and that gets there very easily.
Yeah, and nicely
Takes
done.
So rupees, goes inside.
Yep. So
yeah.
It is quicker to do that, but it is a lot closer. As you saw, it was about a second.
Yeah, Raikaru opting for the safer play, but will definitely get there in time.
Yeah, so he's also going to get there in time. Yeah, he's also going to get there in time. He can choose to do. He can buy a Deku stick to make the jump slash across into the Princess Castle easier, or he can do what he's going to do, the slingshot minigame.
I actually like your suggestion because, and that will have to push all of the crates and go across, whereas Raikaru would save, just a little bit of time going across the crates with a jump slash.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much time it would save going in and doing this sort of thing as opposed to just waiting for it to be nighttime in like a couple seconds later. But it does, for me, it feels better to be able to just push that one single block, like you said, and do that jump slash. I'm not in this tournament, so...
that is true. These races know better than us. So Child Shooting Gallery, just 5 rupees. What a scam. Pay 20 and get 5 back.
And we did see Richard, and Nat got Richard. It was just a red rupee for 20 rupees, so... And that's going to be, just standard old Princess Zelda going for the early song checks. Raikaru is going to follow along. The only thing he's going to do is... he's going back for Richard.
He'll be doing Dog Lady, as now it's just turn night for him. Grabs the 20 rupees in the crate, I imagine.
Oh.
As a quick
Talks
chat
to the guard. Always the worst thing when you're like trying to roll past someone and hit a speech.
Oh, the worst one is what's her name? In Kakariko, the chicken lady. I don't know why. Anju, yeah, that's just the worst. Her radius is so large.
It's ridiculous. And the guy, as a kid, the guy that always is dancing and prancing around, the worker or whatever, his is wide too, and he moves, and you're just like, get away from me.
I almost feel bad for rescuing them because of how much of a pain in the ass they are.
Then there's, Gorons eat rocks. They're supposed to not be like smart as the joke, kind of. They at least know to leave after you've freed them on their own. You don't have to talk to them. The carpenters just sit there, stand there after you've opened their cage. They won't leave unless you talk. I like
to think that they stay there forever because they haven't given me the items I wanted.
Just save and reset if Gerudo has nothing. Just be like, you guys are stuck here. Sorry.
Exactly. So, and that is going to be pushing the crates heading into the Zia, whilst Raikaru is just a tiny little bit behind because he took the owl.
Yep, and he also got there time of day wise, a little early, allowing him to do the slingshot minigame. So that's probably something we'll see Anat eventually get, whether that's through as soon as he's done here walking back into Hyrule Castle Town, or if he'll get it just on the way back while waiting to change into an adult at the Temple of Time.
So it'll be interesting what they do from here. Either they will... The two main routes that I seem to have found is either you go adult from here to the early adult checks and come back, or you do the Lon Lon and Saru's songs to do all the stuff on the way, like Deku Tree as well. So we'll see what they do, though I feel like they'll most likely do the free song route.
Yeah, I'm thinking that as well. Usually, I think if you decide to go adult early after doing this opening, you would do so because you found something adult, like hookshot, bombs, something that you can really benefit with doing adult checks on. And they haven't gotten anything here. They've gotten Rudo's letter, and that's it. So it's likely they'll go along the 3 song.
Oh, good old Epona.
Yep. And fast Epona settings are on for our tournament settings, so that means that they will instantly have Epona. No need to do the Nigo.
Oof. So you never know. They could go straight to GGG if they were crazy enough, but there's definitely better things to do.
Yeah, there is no reason to go to GGG at this point, I don't think.
Although with Fast Epona, I really like it because now you can get Adult Scarecrow and do all those Hyrule checks a lot easier, whereas without the Epona race, it'd be so much harder to do the overworld checks around that area.
Yeah, it is kind of crazy. with both of those Hyrule Lake Hylia checks as an adult fishing, and the heart piece on top of the lab, both of those are basically Sphere 1, where you just need bombs or silver scale in order to get beans or a hook shot. And otherwise, the game's like, no, these are really easy to checks to get. But they are out of the way, especially like you said,
super
unless
out of
you
the
have
way.
a Puna, it's not exactly something that's easily routed in. And iron boots for a gnat on chickens in Lana.
It's pretty good, pretty good. I mean, it's certainly not one of the items you'd want as your first one. Perhaps bombs or hookshot would be better, but at least you don't have to worry about finding them.
Yep. I mean, it is a very small. I mean, it helps with unless you get the golden scale, it gives you water temple access and that underground pillar check. It also gives you Tektite Grotto, and along with hookshot, it gives you the toilet in GTG and the diving minigame in the lab.
Nocturne from Malon is really nice though.
Oh, that's a nice pickup.
They can wrap Kakariko really easily, and also if Shadows required a temple, then hey,
so that's very
less
important.
less likely it'll be all dungeons then in that case.
Yep.
Although Raikaru is going for adult stuff instead of going for the songs.
Interesting.
So we're gonna see what the medallions are, hopefully.
Yes, you definitely want to check those. Although I think it was the last qualifier that Raikaru forgot to check.
I
ran
went
all the way through Fire Temple.
Oh,
got the hover boots on the hammer check, and then was like, I didn't even check to see what the medallions were. Otherwise, he wouldn't have done it.
That is the only race I've rage quit out of. I saw Raikaru finish it 3 hours, and I thought, "There's no way it's Fire Temple, no way." And hover boots was the very last check I did at the Megaton Hammer chest.
I was the same. I was like, how did he finish? Where is this thing? And of course, what wound up happening was, as we were taking a look at the medallions, I'll tell the story later. Dodongo's Cavern is nice.
That's good. That's good.
Water Temple, Forest Temple.
Iron Boots. That's good. Forest.
Jabu.
Jabu's always required.
And then Fire Temple.
So Shadow and Spirit are not required.
Yep, and neither is Deku, although I assume that the runners will do Deku. It's normally routed in, and that definitely will do Deku.
So that Nocturne isn't too useful then. I mean, it lets you do Child Cack and Adult Cack. It routes really easily. You can just walk there, but I don't know. No Spirit and no Shadow. That's really rare, I feel.
Yeah, usually it seems like at least one of them is included in the medallion list, and this time it just has not been.
Yeah, now you don't need Din's Fire, you don't need Hover Boots, you don't need Silver Gauntlets, you don't need Mirror Shield. That's 4 items right there you don't need. Maybe you'll need it for some checks, but you don't. It's possible you don't need them in this seed, so we'll find out how it goes. This could be a really quick seed.
And those are a number of individual unique items, like at least, Silver Gauntlets or the bow or the hookshot. You have multiple cases of being able to grab some of them. Mirror Shield, Din's Fire, Hover Boots. Those are all one-off, unique items that you have to find.
Fire Arrows covers what Din's Fires does for pretty much everything except the Shadow Temple. Hover Boots is only really used for the Shadow Temple, although it lets you get some checks and it's great for mobility. It's only really used as Shadow in the accessible rule set, really.
So we've got and there's the Mirror Shield for Raikaru. The plus is he doesn't have to buy a Hylian shield.
Never buy Hylian shields, folks.
Never buy a Hylian shield, yep. So while Inat checks the Deku Tree chests, Raikaru is doing adult Kakariko. I saw Recovery Heart on adult Anju, so...
So, I don't know. Mirror Shield's okay, I guess. You don't have to buy a shield, but not really what Raikaru is looking for.
Yeah, I will say that the one negative to this dungeon layout, as I think about it, is that both Spirit and Shadow are a lot of checks.
They are. So
the chances that the game actually sees all those checks and says, hey, you actually need to be in here.
Ooh, that's actually really nice, getting that slingshot. Because now when Raikaru does his child checks, he's going to be able to do target and words, whereas Anat will not be able to, unless he finds a slingshot very soon.
Yep. Oh, definitely.
So if target woods is a good check, then that's really big for Raikaru.
Yeah, it's also just, again, it's an efficient thing. You don't have to worry about, coming back and doing it. You don't have to find the hookshot, find the slingshot, and then go, oh crap, this one item I'm looking for, is it on this check?
Because you don't really want to go back for that one check. That's so inefficient, but it could be the one.
Yeah, and as it comes down to it, if it comes down toward the end, of the run and you're running out of checks and where it could be, that's one check that you might go, oh crap, I have to go check this eventually. So.
And that could have happened in the last race. Target Woods was just one of those checks where Longshot could have been behind out of 8 checks. It wasn't, thankfully, for them.
So don't ever listen to the logic or try and let the logic really kind of lead you, quote unquote, too much. But Mirror Shield and Requiem of Spirit in Kakri.
Oh boy. Well, we still need to find 2 strength upgrades. Oh, Adult Wallet being collected by Anat.
I will say I always seem to find that in these seeds in which Spirit / Shadow are unnecessary due to medallions, like Din's Fire and Hover Boots are like in the first 20 minutes of the game.
Every time.
You know, and I'm just like, oh, cool. Now I can enter the Shadow Temple.
Oh, Bomb Shoes are really nice.
Yeah, we'll see how many they are. I know that like
hopefully
the more that you get, of course. Yeah. So that is a positive. We do know, and Nat does not, but we know that this is a stone dungeon. So beating it is not necessary to beat to get the Rainbow Bridge open. So I did not see what was in the Shield Grave chest.
It was nothing important, I believe. Now,
yeah.
What's here? Just a heart piece. So those Bomb Shoes really will help out for Ran, because when he goes into Lost Woods, he'll be able to do all those grottos. And if Raiko can't find any explosives, then it's going to be a little bit rough.
So it's another efficiency thing, where it's just nice to be able to get everything in the Lost Woods done and out of the way, so you don't have to worry about coming back and doing any of those checks. And the Bomb Shoes are very much, you know.
Raikaru doing in Dampe. Let's see how bloodthirsty he is. Whilst Anat will be finishing off Decatry.
Oof, the flame right on top of you. I hate... Dampe's such a troll.
Dampe is a cruel person sometimes. Sometimes he's nice and is kind, and sometimes he will just machine gun fire 5 flames in your face.
He's just like, he's like, race me, it'll be fun. I'm so confident in my speed. And then he's like... And then he tosses fire on your face, and you're like, this was not included in the conversation.
It was not. I think maybe he's just intentionally being slow just to throw fire at your face. I don't think he cares about winning. So, let's see what Dampe gives us, and that will be killing Gomar. Ooh, nice love. 10 out of 10 item. Would recommend. Ooh. Gomar not playing nice. But Anat will easily be able to do the quick kill. Or not. Never mind. That looked fine to me, but the second crouch stab was just not connecting. So Anat will have to wait just a little bit to finish that off. Whilst Raikaru is going to be doing Dampe 2. Seems to be going a lot smoother than the first one, getting to that tour just a little bit quicker. Dodging the fire, and will be making his way to a pretty nice time. I'm going to guess about 47 seconds. Never mind. He rolls into the fire as I open my dumb mouth. And now, Goma finally taken care of by ATC, whilst Raikaru gets hit by a second flame. Oof. Dampe is being cruel in the second one. My guess of 47 seconds tarnished. Now, where will they be going from here? I imagine ATC will be going through Lost Woods, picking up Saras, doing the grottos there. Whilst Raikaru will be finishing off what he can in Adult. He can't do anything in DC, he has no explosives or strength, so I imagine he'll be going back to his child stuff at this point. Dampe 2 not giving anything nice, and yeah. He's just going to be heading off. Although, he can still check the Requiem song. That is something he still needs to do. Alright, so from here, let's see what they do. Yeah. I see heading off to Childcack. Raikaru going back to being a child. It's actually been quite a dry start, I must say, in the first 18 minutes. The only items they've received is Rudo's Letter, Mirror Shield, and the Iron Boots. Not really the item combo you really want to do. Like, you want bombs, you want hookshot, not this late game stuff. Oh. Now, is he going to go for the river or Childcack? He's going for Childcack first. He's going to clean that up, hand in the letter. I imagine Zora's River will be a good bet because he does have the Bomb Shoes. He can hand in Rudo's Letter for Ice Cavern, but he might be holding it off, actually. just a little bit to see if he can find the boomerang and clean all of that up, because Jabu is required. Yeah, don't worry, Grim will come back to us. Unfortunately, you'll have to deal with me for the next few minutes.
Hello.
Oh, Grim, you're back. It was
Sorry
lonely
about
without
that.
you.
I did not realize that my mic dropped. Everything seemed to be fine.
It's so good to have you back.
That's all right. That's my fault.
No worries.
I do know what happened with Nat, and Nat accidentally lost his jump slash on Goma. So he did hit 3 times. It was just with a regular slash attack as opposed to...
It seemed like it connected. He did a stab
yeah.
of nuts and 2 stabs. I was very confused why it didn't work. But yeah, you're absolutely correct. That is what happens.
Yeah. So...
Also, ATC forgetting he has Nocturne. He walked all the way over here.
Yeah, I was actually I was thinking that as I was trying to fix my mic. I was like, Annette, you have Nocturne. Annette, you have Nocturne. It might just be, and this happens sometimes in these randos, you don't always, some of the top runners don't always remember what items they have early or what songs they have, and so they just kind of go through the motions of these early game routing.
It could also just be, this is the route he's used to. Like, he doesn't care about items, and maybe he's just setting up his day and night for Dampe, perhaps, or something like that.
That is a possibility, yep. He could do a number of the Death Mountain Crater checks, and then just like you said, like come back and get Dampe's Grave Digging Tour, which, without Sun Song, is one of the hardest Sphere Zero checks.
And it's certainly one you want to do, because it has ruined some of my races forgetting to do him or not routing him incorrectly.
Yep.
Because sometimes you just don't get the Sun Song, and sometimes Dampe Digging is good.
Yeah, and actually it wound up being, I remember, I think it was Anat versus Datso. Anat did it, and it was the hook shot, and Water Temple was a medallion dungeon, and Datso just never was around Kakariko at night during the first 20 seconds to get that, and wound up never getting that progressive hook shot, which was required for Water Temple. So it is one of those checks that you just don't find unless, you can't really make up if you miss it.
You just have to route it in somehow, some way. And if it's good, then congratulations. Oftentimes, maybe it's not required, but the off chance he is, you need to route him in. Now, Raikaru is pretty much doing what ATC's already done, going through Lon, grabbing his Nocturne, and be disappointed in the hardest puzzle in the game, having nothing. I honestly don't know how to even do this normally. I mean, it's pretty easy, but you just push the block once and you're done. That's it. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I remember when I watched someone do this little room for that heart piece, I was like, I don't think I ever knew that there was a heart piece back here, actually. I don't think I've ever gone in here for vanilla as a casual. And then I was like, oh, that's easy to do. And as I did it, and I did it easily, I still, like you said, I was like, how would you normally do this? How does this game want you to do this?
It would take 2 minutes more.
It'd be like the block push in Spirit Temple.
Okay, ATC seems to be heading back into the castle.
Did I miss him getting Saria's song?
Saria's? I don't believe they have Saria's.
No, I mean, sorry.
No, he has not done Lost Woods yet.
Okay. Interesting. I wonder... So he's probably going to check Slingshot. Or he's just farming.
He's farming, he's going to use... I imagine he's going to play Nocturne for Dampe Digging right now, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it's a bounce
that would... I mean, he's definitely using this as time to farm up some rupees, and also, like you said, for Dampe Digging.
Oh, no, that's a good point. He might be going for the Skull Mask play.
Oh, yes, he did. He did show the letter, didn't he?
Actually, it's a good thing he didn't go. You're absolutely right, Fentanyl. He can get the Keaton Mask, walk back to Kakariko, get Dampe Digging, hand in the Keaton Mask, and he's already most of the way done.
Oh, yeah, no, that's actually really good. All he's got to do is come back to Hyrule Castle Town, pick up the Skull Mask, and then...
And then he's going to do Lost Woods, go into Goron City...
Oh, he doesn't have Requiem of Spirit. If he had Requiem of Spirit, he actually could set it back to being day.
Ooh.
By getting the song.
That would actually be true.
I'm trying to think of what he could do. I mean, I guess he waits till it's night. Yeah, waits till it's night, warps to Nocturne of Shadow. I'm just trying to think what he does next. Does he just say, screw it, I'm going to go get Saria's, and eventually I'll finish the Skull Mask?
I think so, yeah. I imagine
Boy.
that's his play.
Bombs would make this so much easier because you could go through
He does have bomb shoes.
Death Mountain Crater, and then, yeah, I think what he might wind up doing, although I don't think it's enough time, so we'll see, is going up through Death Mountain Crater Trail.
Hmm.
Oh, he's also going to get some skull toes here.
I wonder if AC is just purposely putting off the Ridder's Lair in case he finds Boomerang so he can do all of it at once rather than going through it. Because if he did the river, he'd be able to plant the bean here, for example. Ooh, giant swallet.
Yeah, that's another one of those items where you're like, meh.
So, all right, let me get it straight. So, we found Iron Boots, Mirror Shield, and 2 wallet upgrades in the first 25 minutes. Bombs and hookshot? Get out of here. Not
Who needs
required.
bombs or a hook shot?
Nah, just use bomb shoes. Easy.
Well, at least now when Annette finds that like huge $200 rupee, he won't just leave it on the ground laying there after.
Actually, these wallets are actually pretty big. I mean, they don't really do much, but in terms of money management and like managing your sticks, you can just buy all the sticks you want. And you don't care about money this seed because you're gonna find a 200 rupee, and then you're set.
Yeah, I mean the only plus that it could get is if they find Hammer early and they want to dip into the Fire Temple without much of a worry, they could farm or like you said, just get a 200 rupee, and get the Goron tunic, and that just makes it safe. I know a lot of runners do that, and some will just rely on their ability to get through moving, fast. Speed run.
No. I need to get that Goron tunic. I need to know what color it is.
That's the other part of the rando that is also so important. What colors have they been randomized onto the tunic?
In any randomizer, as soon as I get a tunic, I just put it on. I need to know the color. Damn the race. Some things are more important than the time.
All right, so it was a stack of 10 bomb shoes. I know that's like, what is it? It's something like there are 3 or 4 10 stacks, a 5 stack, and a 20 stack.
I'm not sure on the specifics, but I know 10 is the most amount you can get. I mean, like, more often that's what you're gonna get. And there's 1, 5, 1, 20. Like, sounds like it feels really bad when you get 5 bomb shoes, because then you have to be like super selective on what you get.
Yeah, that's where the safe scumming is important. So the first bomb shoe check on the bombable wall there is just a bloopy, and the next check's going to be and he's going to check the heart piece here on top of Dodongo's cavern.
So what do you think about AC not doing Saru's song initially after Deku when he could have? Like, what's the thought process behind that?
I will say that it was when Skull Mask routing became super important. Right after that week 2 weekly, I will say that I used to try and do this kind of too, where I would try and route in the Skull Mask on my return trip to Lost Woods along with getting Saria's song. It's really hard to do, but without Sun's song, of course. But it just made everything just so much more efficient in regards to, hey, I wiped everything out of the Lost Woods as a kid. I don't have to even worry about coming back as the checks dwindle.
And you were right. AC did a lot of the Death Mountain trail tricks, which does push the night into day. And now when it gets to the castle, it's going to be day. He gets the Skull Mask, and he'll be able to do pretty much all of Lost Woods. Skull Mask, Target in Woods, the Grottos, Saru's song. The only thing he'll be missing is Skull Kid, pretty much.
Yeah, he'll be able to knock that all out. And with the adult wallet too, he can farm up a little bit here if he wants. But he's already got enough rupees for both Dekus.
He has plenty of cash. So let's see if Raiko fares a little bit better against Queen Goma.
Yeah, gonna do the broken Deku stick trick.
I personally find that whilst Goma is an easy quick kill to perform, it's actually one of the easiest to screw up. Just a slight twitch, you accidentally stab a second time, and it's over. You have to wait for it to come down. Go.
Oh, Raikaru went for the single cycle with just the 1 Deku nut, I think. I think he just barely missed it too. I'm pretty sure that you can actually hit 3 times with that crouch stab with just the single Deku nut, but it's frame perfect.
That's how I do it.
Yeah, it's pretty close to frame perfect, or like 1 frame perfect. 1 extra frame. Whereas that like stab Deku nut stab is much easier, and that's how you have a much bigger window for any problems. But Raikaru gets him on the second cycle, so both runners getting a 2 cycle.
So Raikaru could say a little bit of time there, but nonetheless, not pulling it off.
And now Nat is likely to do exactly what Raikaru did, Dompe races Andrew as an adult in Kakariko. I don't think that there's really a lot that he can do extra. He does have the bomb choose, so he could do the Redead grab.
Do you think he's trying to find Saria's song before he goes into Lost Woods, just in case Skull Kid is the check? Because imagine this scenario. You do all of Lost Woods, and Skull Kid's the one item you need to get. Like, you wouldn't really go back for that one check. It's just so far out of the way. So do you think he's going to get Song of Storms, he'll find Requiem, check that song, and then if it's Saria's, then that's great. You'll be able to complete all of Lost Woods. Do you think he's just putting it all off for that?
I think, that actually sounds like it could be, possibly could be it. Yeah, and we talked about this beforehand, right before the stream, and that is very much an efficient.
Yes.
He's confident in his skills and techniques, so he's willing to almost take a risk by not taking a risk in order to fully clear and efficiently get through each area. So I could definitely see him saying, hey, if Saria's song is anywhere in the next few easy, song checks, then, I got to go back as a kid and get that check eventually, just as a, possible, oh, shoot, this is what it was. And it would be so much easier to find it earlier and just get it out of the way, like you said. And, so I'm going to go find it first.
Pretty much.
By the way, Raikaru is in the Lost Woods as a kid, and he did the slingshot minigame, and it was just a heart piece. So.
Now, imagine this scenario. If that was a good item, then putting off Lost Woods and grabbing the slingshot would have been an amazing play, because then something would have been good there, rather than just rushing the Lost Woods. But not in this case, unfortunately.
Yeah, it is always interesting the way that sometimes, like, your routing based upon where everything is decides things. Like, it's a good play, in some seeds it's going to be a good play to rush through the Lost Woods and get Saria's song and blah, blah, blah. And other times you're going to be able to get, like you said, like other times, no, it was actually a pretty good, idea not to, because you wanted to get the slingshot, because Target Slingshot minigame did have something. Or not Slingshot minigame, but Target Woods did have something, but not this seed.
Sorry to interrupt, but have you seen Raikaru's song? Have you checked those 5 notes? It's symmetrical. What is this?
Oh, yeah. Down, A, up, A, down. Looks like a little, crown.
A little bit. You know, I'm really wondering? Where's the Stone of Agony? We need to see if the curse is real again.
Nat gets a 48 on these.
Very nice.
All right, Raikaru. This is important. Don't fuck it up. Excuse me, don't mess it up.
Oh, he gets it just in time. Let's see if it pays off.
Nope, just the worst. One of the worst feelings in a rando. I just spent however long doing this thing.
Ocarina of Memory game is just one of those checks. It's like, man, I wish you could just skip it, but it's one of the earliest checks you can do.
Yeah, and it is a Sphere Zero check, which just increases the chances something important is on it, especially when, as you pointed out, this seed early for actual usable items has been really dry early on.
Yeah. I honestly think this is a Skull Mask seed, honestly, at this point.
Like, it's either a Skull Mask or it does feel like it could turn out to be a Skull Mask or Skulltula seed.
Like, what else can they do?
You know what? No, you know what it is? This is going to be my call right now at Temple.
Child Spirit, maybe.
And it may not even be the first 2 checks. It may be one of the checks upstairs on child side. I have done seeds where the first bomb bag or in logic bomb bag is there, or the first in logic bow is there.
Ooh, and I'm having a little bit of trouble on the windmill. It's definitely tough to do that quick way to get up there sometimes. I've practiced it. I can do it most of the time, but sometimes it just does not work out.
Oh yeah, that's one of the weirdest jumps. Like, I still do it pretty, simply, where I just kind of climb up onto the one to the right and then do the, roll jump forward. And sometimes Link just decides to kind of fall off finicky instead of jumping.
It's one of the most finicky jumps in the game. It's blue fire check. We don't have ZL yet, so it can't be yet. I mean, but if Requiem has ZL, blue fire is in logic.
I actually played the seed where that first showed up, where we were all looking for Ruto's letter, and we all had the Giant's wallet, and one of like the 7, 8, 9, 10 of us, this was back in the 1.0 days, knew that you could buy Blue Fire and then go to King Jabu, or the Zora King and freeze him.
Oof.
And he gave Ruto's.
That's the worst possible location, I think. Sunsong at Saria's, though. That'll make pretty much Dampe digging Bratga in a breeze. And you have Nocturne as well. You can just get Dampe digging whenever you want, which is really nice. And
it's also a huge help for Skull Hollows. In logic, the Sunsong does not mean anything in regards to how many Skull Hollows you need to get, but it's just super nice to have.
Lost Word's not really paying off, if anything, just the Sunsong for now. So perhaps it's the Skull Mask or Skull Kid, and if it is, Anat will have a bit of an advantage.
Raikaru's played too many fast setting seeds. he checked the hint stone twice because fast setting seeds that some of the runners have been doing have been hints are on no matter what. So early on, getting the Stone of Agony doesn't reveal hints; they're automatically revealed. So you just need nothing to check the hint stones for hints, and I think that's what Raikaru did because he clicked on that hint stone twice.
Raikaru hasn't done Dampe digging, has he?
No, he is not.
No. I'm surprised he didn't play Requiem, for example, do Sunsong there to set it to nighttime, the correct time, to get Dampe digging out of the way.
Yeah, he still could. Or it may just be something he hasn't really thought of. So Bolero on Requiem.
That could lead to ZL, so we'll see where that goes.
Yeah. Ooh, it is another song.
If Mirror Shield wasn't there, never buy your Hylian shields.
Yeah. By the way, Anat did buy his Hylian shield. He has not. He left. He did not.
That.
Hold on, wait. I'm trying to remember. I saw Anat in Kakariko because he did the Redead Grave. Did he find the mirror shield?
He did not. I don't believe
so.
Did he forget the cow?
But what now? Yeah, I don't think he did the cow. Oh God, Song of Storms. All right, so.
Okay. Where was the Zelda's Lullaby?
So I actually recently played a seed in which Zelda's Lullaby was on. It was a beatable. It was a beatable only seed, which meant not all locations were reachable, which is different from this setting. But I recently played a seed where Zelda's Lullaby was on Ocarina of Time. Water Temple was a medallion dungeon. Shadow was a stone, very similar to this. And Ocarina of Time and Zelda's Lullaby were not required because the boss key was in that very first top chest of water.
Really? That's pretty good. I mean, could very well be Forest Battalion in this one, since the Dongo is an easy one to grab.
Yes.
You just need bombs.
Yep. So it's possible that if somehow Zelda's Lullaby is on Ocarina of Time, it may not be required.
I mean, Shadow isn't a required medallion, so it is entirely possible. CL's not required in this seed. It's very
and that's
rare.
That's the only temple that 100% of the time requires Zelda's Lullaby.
Yes, that is the. If Shadow is not a medallion, it is possible, though very rare, that CL is not required in the seed. Since in terms of like pure progression, the only thing that requires ZL is Shadow. Or everything else are just checks that could have items. And for getting to Ice Cavern. But Jabu, you can use the Silver Scale for that.
Yep, Raikaru is starting up the Skull Mask check.
So this is going to be a very big check coming up. If Skull Mask is good, then Anat will have a huge lead. Because honestly, right now, I can't tell who's in the lead. It is just, they're both looking for items and it's just so dry.
It's really hard early on because a lot of the checks, and I've said this, I think every time I've commentated, it's really hard early on to say who's ahead and who's behind, just because even if someone has a couple more items than another person because they checked somewhere first, early like this, you're very likely to do the same checks as everyone else for the first hour of the
they'll
scene.
come like swap positions. They'll do the checks that have already been done by the other opponent, and then they'll swap with theirs and then get the items, and then we're back to square one and everyone's even.
Like, for example, Raikaru's doing checks that Anat did earlier, but Anat's going to do a couple checks in the Lost Woods that Raikaru's already done. The one big positive that Anat has on Raikaru is Anat has a big song lead right now, including the Song of Storms, which allows him to grab the grotto outside of Kokiri Forest, and eventually he'll get the grotto outside of Goron City.
If that was a big check, then that would have been in such a major lead, because Raikaru would have to have gone out of his way for that one check, pretty much.
Yeah, geez, still an empty seed. One of the better dungeon layouts, and yet the seed is just being stingy with its items.
Who knows? Everything could be in DC. So Skull Mask will be coming up. That's the big thing. Whilst Raikaru is playing Song Song, perhaps going to do Dampe Digging, and we'll see where it goes from here.
That's pretty definitely what he's going to do. I'm starting to think that like this is one of those seeds where Skull Mask or 10 Skull Tulls or even 20 Skull Tulls is the beginning of the influx of items here.
No, I mean you do have Rudo's letter, but you can't actually get rid of that in the logic to make it a bottle. No boomerang, no hookshot. 20 skulls is rough.
Yeah. This is one of those seeds where as a runner for me at least, I start going, okay, like even with bomb chews, I'm going, all right, but logically, where is the bomb bag? Because I can start finding items with the bomb chews, but those are limited.
Honestly, in this position, I would be doing Zora's River. That's a ton of checks there for one bomb chew, the dongos, in the hopes that what's being locked is the bomb bag. Say 20 skulls, and then I can just completely bypass it. That's the hope.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, you definitely don't want to like be limited by the logic. It's just one of those things that I always kind of keep in the back of my head, like because sometimes I actually will use it to eliminate checks, because if I find something that was, in logic, not like bombs, for instance, if I find something behind a bomb bag and then with that in combination with something else would allow me to full clear, and I'm looking for bombs, then it's not going to be behind there, type of thing. It doesn't always work, but
knowing how the logic works and eliminating certain checks is really important in Randomizer, because let's say you find an item that you went out of logic for, then the item required to get this has to be in these locations. It has to be, and then you can focus on those checks if you need it later on.
And yes, Annette did pick up the Skull Mask. Raikaru is going to follow your advice and head to Zora River, it looks like.
I mean, for one bomb, you can get 5 checks and hand in Rudo's letter. It's huge.
Yeah, we're also going to see, and again, there's another easy Skull Tull to pick up here for Raikaru. I really, this is, you are reaching the point as a runner where you're going, all right, I really actually have to focus on skulls. Just to get to that, at least get to that 10, because much like we were saying, Skull Mask, it's a check where when this is so dry early on, you're going, all right, I need to find something here.
I mean, I would also be thinking, oof, what if I need to plant Magic Bean, say Lake Hylia? Because that's a really good one to plant. Both races still need to do Gerudo Valley, correct? I don't believe they've done that.
Yes, yeah, both racers have not checked Gerudo Valley. That's why that little.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, no, I was just going to say that's why that little detour early on took off in popularity, in my opinion, is because they're Sphere 0 checks, and they are so far out of the way. But if you do it early and either save and quit or not, or you accept it, you can work it into an early route. Oh, hookshot, that's huge.
Skull Mask required, and that gaining a pretty nice lead, I would say.
Now, Raikaru did start his Skull Mask. He did at least show the note to the letter to the guard, but he's nowhere near completing that or continuing it right now. So
he seems to be banking more on skulls, going out of logic to perhaps negate everything. But hookshot is required. He needs to do skull.
Hookshot is always required. And there's Silver Scale for Nat too. That's another nice pickup.
Good.
So Raikaru does not know this, but actually no, that was a bombable. Never mind, we're not in logic. That was a bombable location.
I'm surprised Raikaru didn't get that at the time. Perhaps he ran out of money. But that Silver Scale was huge because now, and that can just go into Zora's River from the Lost Woods, whereas Raikaru had to walk a bunch to get in here.
It'll be interesting to see exactly how a Nat approaches that. If he gets Serenade of Water, he'll definitely Serenade of Water over. But one other thing he could do is leave the Lost Woods get that bombable grotto in that like little forest area between Kokiri and Lake Hylia. Get the Deku Scrub outside of Lake Hylia, get the Scarecrow Song, and then swim into Zora's domain, and then head down Zora River. And that way, you clear everything out. You get a couple of out-of-the-way checks that you may not get later on. It's just that's a nice, efficient route, I think, that might consider taking.
Mm-hmm. But he needs to get the Serenade. We know this is Sun Song. Where could Serenade even be?
I mean, who knows? One of the things is if Zelda's Lullaby is required for whatever reason, it could be on Ice Cavern because Ice Cavern. Never mind, no, it's not.
Yeah,
you need Zelda's Lullaby to get in there.
Yeah. I would imagine DC has ZL. 99% of the time, ZL is required.
Yeah. And that's going to take some damage here so that he can Death Warp after getting Saria's Song.
Oh yes, it's very nice Death Warping after this.
Little does he know, he could have just played the Sun Song and showed up at the beginning.
You fool! If only he had expected the 1 in 8 chance. Clearly outplayed by the seed. I think AC is just going to die anyway. He just says, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to...
I mean, he's already that low on health, so...
Yeah.
What he's probably hearing
is what he gets.
He's probably hearing whatever name he is... whatever sound is played on low health sound over and over again, he's like, make it stop, make it stop.
Oh, I have to pick hearts up whenever it's the low health sound. Even if it takes 2 seconds, I need to get rid of it.
I've set it to tambourine just because that's a nice soft sound that doesn't annoy me if I'm low on health.
Weak Master Race.
Oh,
so the spread of the rupees I think were fairly far apart, so I don't think Raikaru could have done free dive strategies.
Yeah, no, it looks like there was only these two that are close together. There was the one that was way off.
I think he could have, actually. I think free dive strat was possible.
It would have been close.
It would have been very close. I think he would have had a second left. But
yeah,
what we mean by the free dive strategy, for those that don't know, is you can do the diving minigame and the torch run at the same time if the rupees can all be collected in free dives. You can do it. You have a few seconds to spare. But if they're in that position where they're super spread out, you can still do it in free dives. It's very risky. You might have a second to spare to do it in a situation like that. So Raikaru playing it safe, not doing the big strategy. Now, and that is actually going to do a big check here, because Raikaru didn't have Summer Storms for this.
Yeah, this is another big pickup efficiency-wise. Like we were talking about, you want to find Rita's Letter before going to Zora's Domain. You want to find Boomerang. Song of Storms is another one of those checks that is just individual, that if it gets down to it and you're like, where is this one single item or 2 items I'm looking for, this sticks in the back of your mind like, I never did this when I was there because I didn't have it at the time. Is this going to be it?
So it's just playing so efficiently. Like he's doing these checks and then he comes back and does a full sweep of everything. Just cleans it all up at once. Whereas Raikaru might have to come back, though unfortunately they haven't been anything. It hasn't paid off. The Skull Mask, though, being routed in so early has definitely paid off. And I'd say the other thing is that Silver Scale being where it is was so efficient and lucky, I think.
He did take the Lost Woods dive over. Which, again, it was not the exact route that I had kind of picked, but...
I mean, with the Silver Scale...
You know what he might wind up doing instead? Is he might clear Zora's Domain and then go out to Lake Hylia, get Scarecrow Song set up, sit underwater bottle, Scarecrow Song, save, and then do those 2 overworld Lake Hyrule field checks that require bombs to be able to save those 2 bomb checks.
He might even do Gerudo Valley at that point, once he goes out there.
That's definitely a possibility too.
Because they're still... The hookshot's really nice, but they're still missing a ton of items. They don't have bombs, they don't have strength or a bow. These are key items.
Yep. And I've seen, this is interesting to me, the way that this has developed. I've seen more and more runners, when Jabu Jabu is a medallion dungeon and you have you have the Ruto's Letter, go in and set up, get the first check-in Jabu Jabu, as well as set up Princess Rito.
I do this every time. I have been Jabu'd before. It is a horrible feeling.
Because for the longest time, it was like, no, you avoid Jabu Jabu until you could full clear it when it's a medallion, and if it's a stone, you never go near it. And now it's turned into, no, yeah, you go into it. You know, like it's like, oh no, yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. You have to do all this anyway. You only waste about a minute of time for one check, which honestly isn't that bad, and it's super far out the way. If that's the required thing, you are never coming back here until it's the last check. So just in case, you spend a minute for safety. And there have been times when I have raced where Jabu first check locked everything.
Yeah. Well, I don't think I've had one of those races, but I had a race where first check in Jabu wound up being an important item. And it is one of those things where if it is a medallion dungeon, it's just very nice to be able to have Ruto already on the first floor when you come back in. You don't have to worry about going down and getting her and doing this entire section that Raikaru's doing.
She's so patient waiting there years for you. It's really nice of her. And doing the chickens behind the waterfall, and we'll easily get in whilst Raikaru cleaning up Jabu. Or at least the first check.
Yeah, so and that is, is he going to instantly go to Lake Hylia? Yeah,
now
he
is
is.
a good time. I don't think he'll be doing... I mean, he could do Gerudo Valley and go down the river, but it's better than doing Jabu and then coming out to do this.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point. If he plans on going into Jabu like Raikaru is to get that first check and just prep Jabu, then yeah, you want to come to Lake Hylia first because you're more likely to save warp or song warp out of Jabu instead because of where you are location-wise and how far you've got to run.
Is, oh no, and that doesn't need to plant the bean here, as he has the hook shot actually, never mind.
Yeah, the one advantage to having the hook shot is I don't have to worry about the
bean.
Oh wow. Yeah, the bean. This is my least favorite bean in the entire game, the one for Lake Hylia, just because
so
like
far out the way.
Yeah, it's just without silver scale, it's just
and it's so very rare that Lake Hylia lab heart piece is blocking everything, or like the hook shot or something.
But when it does happen,
oh man, it's the worst. So, Raikaru, did you avoid getting Jabu today?
I think he did, but here we go. Nope, just a recovery heart.
Oh no.
The look of shame on Link's face as he turns back around.
Raikaru stealing Jabu's heart. Gets out of there.
Oh.
I don't believe he's collected the song here because he doesn't have Bolero. But who knows? Do you think he'll do Child Spirit? Have a little look through? He doesn't have a hook shot or anything.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I would.
Yeah.
It's really kind of crazy because if you get Slingshot or Boomerang, again, the left side child checks are just Sphere 1 checks. Well, I guess Sphere 2 because you need Requiem of Spirit as a song, but they are surprisingly... I don't think that they're like really high, but I've found that progression gets stuck in Spirit Temple on the child side more often than not.
I mean, if he decided to do it, I wouldn't blame him. I mean, what else can he do? He, I guess, Fire Temple now, at least 1 or 2 checks. There's Spirit Temple, and then Skull Mask.
Yeah, and he is going to go back
Valley checks as well.
Yeah, without having found anything yet, I
don't blame him for this, honestly.
Yeah, this is something that as soon as Requiem of Spirit gets put, into my hands and I get the Slingshot, instantly those child checks go into my head because I'm like, those are simple, easy checks. I've seen stuff beyond them before. I mean, and if you think about it, it's an easy way. It's an easy thing to do when it's a medallion. But did he? Oh shoot!
There's stellar sniping from Raikaru. Decimating those bats.
Yeah, they never stood a chance. But yeah, there's no like.
You see, that's better.
I don't know. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like 4 easy checks as a child you can get if you get a key in the first 2 checks. And it's I don't know. I think that of all of the if it winds up being a stone dungeon, this is one of those checks that you're just like, yeah, no, this is okay to do.
But the real question is, do you continue after those 4 checks? Because you do have bomb shoes, you can kill the Sculpture, but it's completely out of logic. What if bomb bag is super late and one of the items you need, say the hook shot, leads to bomb bag? It might not be the bomb bag holding you back. It might be the hook shot or some other item.
Yeah. I do the first 2 checks, and if I get a key, maybe I do the next 2 because it's
That's 2
really easy checks. But Yeah, after that, I don't think... If it's medallion, maybe I think about going deeper, but when it's a stone, I probably don't.
Yeah. If it's a medallion, I would do it 100% of the time. These are all checks you would have to do anyway, but as a stone dungeon, it's a gamble.
Hover boots. Those are not required, but...
Oh, that's not the item you want to see. You want to see bomb bag or hookshot, but hovers? Shadow isn't required. How do these races have more required items? Well, not required, but more items for non-required dungeons than the required dungeons themselves.
That's really interesting. That's hover boots and mirror shield. Like, this is one of those races where this is really, really weird in regards to... This is pointing all dungeons, but you don't want to make that commitment.
No,
we're not even an hour into the race.
Okay, all dungeons, call it. Do you think it's all dungeons or not?
You know, right now, I gotta say, I think it's a bait.
It's a bait? I think I'm with you. I think this is a total bait.
If they already had magic and inspire somehow too, I'd be like, yeah, something important is in Shadow Temple. But right now, I don't think it's all dungeon.
Not yet, no.
Yeah, someone just mentioned, I had spaced a little bit about this. Both players do now have, or no, actually, because Raikaru didn't go to play Bolero when he was an adult, so he didn't get the song. The well is open to Anat. So the well is a lot of checks, although they don't have in-logic explosives, and they also don't have Zelda's Lullaby yet. So.
That's true, that is true. But you're still looking for the bomb bag to even perhaps get that seal behind the dongos. I think you would still do Palm of the Well, honestly. Because that's the most likely place where bomb bag is going to be, so you can clear the dongo to get that Zelda's Lullaby. I mean, it might not be Zelda's Lullaby, to be fair. But that's probably the most likely place it is.
Yeah, and like I said, there is a chance that it's not required to have... You're not required to have Zelda's Lullaby. At least not early on. You will have to be able to get it logically because all locations must be reachable. But you can defeat this lineup of dungeons without Zelda's Lullaby.
It's possible. So Raikaru...
No, actually, I lied. You can't. No, you can actually. With Silver Scale, you can get past the Zelda's Lullaby for job.
Yes.
Listen to me.
They do have the Silver Scale, so they're on track for a Zelda Lullaby-less run. Now, Raikaru is going to be doing the Gerudo Valley checks. Now, these checks are very important because they're Sphere 0. They're free to get. The bomb bag could be here.
These are two checks that, when they have something and you don't do them, you are so far behind. Just because, imagine if one of the runners had decided to go Gerudo, if there is something here. One of the runners decides to do Gerudo Valley at 6 minutes.
Oh, I always
They have had bombs, or they have had something for so long, you know.
Once upon a time, I did a race, and the bow and the bombs were here, and I didn't do this.
Wow.
I lost that race. I've been scarred for life since then.
Oh, there's one full heart container.
That's not really what he wants. Raikaru is just looking for hookshot, bombs, strength. Unfortunately, the hookshot skull mask. The other two, it remains to be seen.
I've noticed something too. Both runners are saving their bomb chews. I think that's because they know that if they get a strength upgrade, they can actually full clear Dodongos, which, as you've pointed out, is the forest medallion. It gives them a song.
You would need... Ooh, how many would you need? Assuming you've got strength, you would need 3 bomb chews to clear it if you use the strength to pull bomb flowers, I believe. No, 4.
To full clear 4. 4, yep. Because you need the 2 on the eyes and a validation rupee in the waterfall.
Gerudo Valley was worth it.
Yes, exactly. It may not look it to those unexperienced eyes, but it was definitely worth it. Yeah, so it's 2 for the eyes, 1 for...
Above the Dongo himself.
Yeah, above the Dongo. And then 1 for...
the chest above the eyes.
Chest above the eyes, yep.
Yeah, so you would need 4 for that. And I'd probably want to save a bomb shoe for Link the Goron, because doing that with bombs of strength, no thanks. I'd rather use a bomb shoe, thank you.
Oh, I've done that before. It is not fun to do at all. And that is also going to do Child Spirit, so...
Although I must say, Raikaru's skills far superior to ACC's.
Ooh, and not getting a little lucky there, picking up some extra Deku nuts. If he hadn't, you got to hit that little, what do you call it, the switch with something.
I mean, he could use a bomb shoe for it as well. Though at this point,
I will say that's in logic. I believe that's in logic.
I don't think the bomb shoe's in logic because bomb shoes are never considered in logic unless you specifically assign.
I think it's weird. I think that one of those extra. I don't think it's selected for this tournament settings, but one of those extra like.
Oh, maybe for that. Yes.
Is to use a bomb shoe on that, even if it's not selected as bomb shoes in logic.
If I had the boomerang or the bomb shoes, I would do the bomb shoes every time.
Oh really? I do the boomerang. I guess
doing the boomerang on this check.
I guess it depends on how many bomb shoes I have and if I have bombs yet. Raikaru is gonna do it. He's purchasing blue fire.
The madman.
You may as well at this point in time with how much there's just been nothing, and he does have hover boots. He can hover through as an adult without Zelda's Lullaby, so it is possible for him to do.
He is going for Skull Mask, it seems.
Yep, probably the smart play. And again, as checks kind of wind down, you start thinking: is it Skull Tulas? Is it Skull Mask? Is it whatever else I haven't done?
So honestly, Ice Cavern is actually kind of risky right now. Because let's assume that Dungos is not Zelda's Lullaby. You might never need to go into Ice Cavern. What if this is a Zelda Lullaby-less run?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's possible. It's unlikely, but it is definitely possible. And there's a Gnat finding the hover boots.
I gotta say, if this run was Shadow and Spirit required, I would be so happy. The Mirror Shield is one of those checks where it's like, it could be anywhere. So needed for very little.
Yeah.
Honestly. But in this scene, what the hell's going on?
Mirror Shield especially, but also I feel like Din's Fire a little bit too, is like if you get those when it's not a medallion dungeon, Spirit / Shadow for each respective item, you're just like, oh, I don't really need this. But when you have both of those dungeons to do and you're looking for those items, they're so important and usually so hard to find and so elusive that you're just going, where is this one item? Where is this unique item?
It's always the Din's Fire or the Mirror Shield when they're required, but when they're not required, oh hey, I found them both.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, Raikaru is going to make the play for Skull Mask, which will get him the hook shot, as we know from a Gnat already having it. And
as much as I'm not having this hook shot, he hasn't been making much use of it. And really, what can he do with it?
Not a whole lot. Not anything like that he doesn't already have. He's already hook shot, or he has Bolero of Fire, so he was able to get the vanilla song from that location.
He can do
so he doesn't need it to
VMC
get to fire.
Checks. You can't enter forest logic, though if he Mido skips, he could. He can't do anything much in fire unless he uses the bomb shoes.
I think I've said this. Yeah, I think I've said this once or twice in regards to. Well, no water's in. He has iron boots.
Oh, that's right. He does have the iron boots. You're absolutely correct.
But like I think I've said this once or twice. Hookshot is such an important item and a required item and an item that you are always looking for. But it, other than like getting into dungeons or doing dungeons, it doesn't really unlock a lot of checks outside of that.
Yeah, it's one of the most important items in the game. However, it's only really important an hour and a half in. It's one of those items where you're just happy you found it, because sometimes hookshot's 3 hours in and you're just locked and you can't do anything.
Yeah. And the Boulder of Destiny, as it has been called, on the left-hand side of Hyrule Castletown is just a bloopy.
Oof.
So nothing important there. I think Raikaru is going for the big brain galaxy play here and is going to go do Blue Flame on King Zora.
Well, if he does decide to do Ice Cavern, he can just unfor him straight there and then do the rest of Ice Cavern rather than coming out.
Or I'm just hyping it up. Or I'm just hyping it up and he's just doing Skull Mask like a smart person.
No, he's doing Skull Mask.
And that is going to go into the well, I think. Yeah, without Zelda's Lullaby.
I like this play a lot, honestly. Sure, there's no Zelda's Lullaby, but you are missing so much to get the other songs that I think this is required.
How many Zelda's Lullaby knocks 4 checks?
4 checks.
Locks
yes.
4 checks, right?
But if you find a key, if a key is behind any of them, then perhaps there's nothing behind the locked pits. If Zelda's Lullaby is late.
Yeah, I don't like going in here without Zelda's Lullaby, but
I don't like it either. But sometimes
the checks that are left, yeah, it's probably one of the better plays.
Raikaru, I wonder if he's going to be feeling bad at this point when he finds Hookshot and Skull Mask.
I don't know, maybe. Oh, there's a key behind one of the bombable checks. So Anat is also down to 4 bomb chews right now, which, as we said, is the minimum you need to full clear the Dodongo's Cavern without an actual bomb. So it'll be interesting to see if he uses that bomb chew on the final bombable check in here.
Because you have to assume bomb bag's coming up.
Yeah, I mean, that becomes an easy decision if bomb bag winds up being in here and he finds it. But I wonder if he saves right before that and tries to save Scum.
You know what the funny thing is? Maybe all of this isn't required. Maybe Bottom of the Well is a trap. Maybe Water Temple has everything. Who knows?
And that was down to a half a heart. And those keys, I think he stunned them, but I couldn't tell. And he found a heart piece in there, so he's back up to full.
Raikaru.
And there's Raikaru's hook shot. You know, not bad. I mean, he's only an hour in. It's not like not like he stretched it out to an hour and a half, 2 hours without the hook shot. Ooh, and he tried to backwalk quick and accidentally fell back in.
Now, do you think Bottom of the Well is going to be a trap? It's not looking good so far.
I don't know. I think it's a trap without ZL. I think ZL stuff will. I think a ZL check will have something on it, but I think right now it's a trap. But it is probably the biggest concentration of checks right now.
I think it's a trap.
The well is always a trap.
It is always a trap.
Raikaru finding his silver scale.
I wonder if Raikaru is kicking himself at this point. Like, God, the silver scale was here. I could have gone into Zora's River from here rather than walk all across Hyrule Fields.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. He's going to warp straight to Nocturne.
I think he's
Kakariko Graveyard. Well. Probably, yeah.
He's done everything in there. Unless he's handing in Sculptures, he's probably doing Bottom of the Well. Oh
yeah,
no, he doesn't have Song of Storms.
To be coming up.
He does not have Song of Storms. He's never done. Yeah. He's never played Bolero.
Yeah, he got that song as a kid. He got Bolero as a kid, so he wasn't able to warp and chain it to Song of Storms as an adult. So, yeah, I wonder if he's got Skulls coming up. I think both of the runners are pretty close. Yeah, no Dodongo. No one's even gone into Dodongo. Both have had 10 bomb chews and have been using them, but haven't used them in Dodongos.
And that loses shields. Red potion. I don't think he's going to be having a boss fight with the hardest boss in the game, Dislike. If anyone watched the previous race, Dislike destroyed our runners.
Wow, 2 potions back to back.
A red potion and a green potion.
Yeah.
Hey, at least they can get a ton of bugs if they want to do that.
Come on, game. Show me the blue potion.
Oh, please be the blue potion.
So far, the well is looking like a trap. It's always interesting that one boulder on the left, when you blow up the bomb flowers, does not explode, or doesn't explode for some reason, but the one on the right does. It always scares me because I'm like, where is it? Did it blow up? Ooh, okay, so nothing in the well.
So he didn't save. I think he's getting all his bounties back now.
Yeah, that's really smart. So yeah, so nothing in the well. There are still 1, 2, 3, 4 ZL checks in the well, but nothing else in there right now.
And one of them is a key, so there's 3 good checks left.
So he saved. Interesting. So he's got. Oh wow, he's only got 7 Skulls Halls. I thought he had more, and he's only got 3 bomb chews. So he's a bomb chew short of full clearing the Dongos.
At this point, it's got to be Sculptures. I don't think there's much else. There's Gerudo Valley, but we know that's bad, and that might be going for that at this point. There's Water Temple that is open, and there's still a few magic beams. GTG.
I've had seeds where the first in logic bomb bag was GTG, one of those like first the left or the right hand side check, or even with hover boots in logic, it could be the top of Gerudo the Gerudo Fortress. Could be. I've had a bow there that unlocked everything else basically in the game.
They do have the hook shot. You can get there with just the hook shot and Scarecrow.
Yes, that too.
Man, okay, so
Raikaru's going to do it. Raikaru's going to do it. He's going to go reverse Wasteland into GGG.
He's also going to check the magic bean, I think.
Oh yeah, he can check the
That's
magic
one of those
bean.
pesky beans.
This is a Sphere 1 check too, because you just need the song.
Pretty much.
Or Sphere 2, because you need to be able to reach the beans.
If it turns out that it's GTG you had to do without bombs, without bow, without strength, I do not blame these racers for doing it last. Because you just wouldn't. You would never do GTG in a situation unless it's the last thing you can do.
Oh yeah,
those required things.
I always ignore GTG until I have a bow and a hook shot at the very least.
Yes. Okay, is this good?
Just a piece of heart.
Oh no! It's
oh
GTG.
No, he's not gonna go back. Wow. Okay, so he's gonna warp. Yeah, he's gonna pick up Song of Storms, and now Raikaru is gonna have a decision to make.
He might dip
that
into
will
fire.
open up the well. He could dip into fire.
Imagine if it was the first check in fire. That was it.
Yep. There was the weekly where the hammer was in Fire Temple on like the third check into fire, and everyone was like, "What? Why? How?"
I always check fire. Ever since that infamous stone fire with the hover boots, I check it every time to see where the keys are.
Yeah, I've started to check that first check a lot too, because I had one time I had a seed where I had what was it? I got, it wasn't required, but I got long shot in there.
Oh, wow.
But it's also just nice to know whether or not you're locked by a hammer. Oh, I did not see what that was that Anat
It was
just
the
got.
bow.
It was the bow?
It was the bow.
Ooh.
Raikaru also about to pick up the bow. They're pretty much.
Oh wow, they're right next to each other. Okay.
Yeah. They're about to wave hi to each other, pretty much.
Basically.
Ooh, Raikaru not making the jump slash, falls into the pits, burns alive in the lava.
The Pit of Doom.
But that does mean Link the Goron is now in logic.
Yep, and they are both very close together in checks. There are a few checks that Anat's done that Raikaru hasn't, and a few checks that Raikaru's just done that Anat hasn't. But like, they are very close together right now in regards to
the big ones is Raikaru has done Gerudo Valley and the Magic Bean outside Spirit Wells. Anat, ooh, what is Anat's done?
Anat's done the well.
Yes, the well. That's it. That's probably the big thing.
Yeah, that's the big one right now. I think there are a few other things that he's done that hasn't been done by Raikaru, but
just a shield.
So it's always so
disappointing. The Goron that all his Goron friends are dead. The dragons ate them all, and his tears open the door somehow.
And in retaliation, he just gives you a wooden shield. Here, use this against the fire-breathing.
Do you think they're gonna do Mino Skip just to see the song?
Yeah, I know that Anat will. Anat very much does not follow the logic exactly. He's very much into the whole breaking of logic stuff. Not like on purpose, but just in the sense of like wherever most of the checks are, consider logic. But he's gonna be like, yeah, he's just gonna be like, no, I'm just gonna Mito skip and pick up this song when I'm not supposed to, because it's better to have the song.
Mino is being an absolute jerk, not letting ATZ pass.
Song of Storms check for the grotto outside Goron City for Raikaru here. Nope, just a recovery heart.
Unfortunate. I think Raikaru is going to opt to be doing DC, actually. He has the bomb shoes to do most of it. Perhaps? Or would it be Fire Temple he's doing? Or maybe he has the same idea. He's going to Forest Temple to check the song.
I think it's the same idea. I think both these runners are kind of looking for Zelda's Lullaby, just because, while not a required thing, like it would be for, say, oh, and he missed the backflip on that Sultal token. Not a required thing to do. Like it would be, again, for Shadow Temple, you absolutely need Zelda's Lullaby to clear it, whereas Water, you don't always need it, although it's likely to need it. It's still an important song to get due to what it opens up.
Because it might turn out that, oh, hey, you did Dodonga, congratulations. It was Minuet to get the ZL right here.
Yeah.
So this is a very important song coming up. Song of Time?
Song of Time.
I mean, it does mean all dungeons is unlikely now.
Go to GTG.
You just want to see the toilet.
Go to GTG. Hey, the toilet's in logic.
You're right. It is in logic. Well, the song
well, yeah, the Song of Time maybe not, but like not only do they have the Iron Boots and the hookshot, they have the Giant's Wallet to buy a Zora tunic.
No, Maya, you could be right there.
Hey, this is Randobot we're talking about. Randobot 1.
True, we have to start thinking outside the box. What vile villainy has this maniacal machine created?
Oh, and so Anat's going to make a play for the Forest Temple, in part because he just picked up the bow. He'll be stopped by the push block room But there are still a good number of checks in here that he'll be able to do, and like you said, it is required. It is a medallion forest temple,
Yeah, so he's not going to be losing much time, and he still needs to find either Minuet or Sarias to get here. If he finds the Minuet, he can easily walk back here and not lose much time. If it turns out that Minuet's like Ocarina of Time, he's going to have to walk all the way back here.
There's a likely chance that the Zelda's Lullaby is on Forest Medallion, the Prelude Vanilla check, and then that Composer Grave unlocks either Saria's Song or Minuet of Forest.
I'd say that's a good assessment. Well, that stuff just got destroyed.
Yeah, we haven't seen a... Wow, that was an excellent fight by Nat there.
Very nice.
We just have not seen Stone of Agony, and we're running out of checks. So I just have to kind of assume that
I think for the sake of these runners,
it's not in all dungeons Ocarina of Time is required for, something like Minuet / Sarias or something.
For the sake of these runners, I don't think they want to find the Stone of Agony. That thing's cursed. Oh, Raikaru going into fire. Will the first Goron provide him what he needs?
I'm always so like, do I want this to be an actual check? Or do I want this to be nothing? Or because it's nice to get locked out, and sometimes because you're like, all right, cool. I know that there's not until I find the hammer. There's nothing. I don't have to come back. You don't have to worry about climbing all the way up to the hammer chest in case freaking the Goron bracelets there. Instant boss key.
So he can't proceed any further, but the instant he gets Megaton Hammer, he can just kill Volvagia. So actually, the big question is, when he gets Megaton Hammer, do you do the rest of fire?
I don't. I might do those first 2 checks along the bottom with the hammer, but I probably...
But there's 3 keys. There has to be 3 keys in those 4 checks. There has to be. So you're using a lot of time for just keys.
Well, it would be 5 checks. You've got Volvagia, the 2 checks along the bottom, and the 2 along the side. So it depends. It depends on when I get hammer and what I still have left to do. Like I'm probably not, unless I'm running out of checks and I still got items to find.
Is Raikaru farming the Goron Tunic?
It does look like he is, yeah.
Ooh. Raikaru, buy the Goron Tunic. I'm telling you, please. I need to know what color it is.
Really interesting, just because he can't move on in Fire Temple, so it's not like getting the Goron Tunic is... Huh. It's not a bad play, especially at the heart number that they're at, so... So far, nothing in the Forest Temple item-wise. We found a boss key and 2 small keys for...
Nothing big so far, so Forest just going in hasn't really paid off. The only other check he can do right now is the Floor Master chest, that's it. I'm disappointed in Raikaru. He hasn't shown us what color the tunic is. I honestly think it's Sculptureless locking them now.
I'm surprised that he bought that tunic at this point in time. Just because like I said, you can't move on into the Fire Temple yet. And I know he's low on hearts, but
if I had only the adult swallow, I would do it because then I can fill up my money with other rupees I'll find. But I have the giant swallow. I'm gonna be maxed on cash pretty much.
Oh wow, okay. Personally, I did not know that you could reach the that ledge from that other ledge with hover boots in Forest Temple. So
I believe that's in logic.
It might be. I know that you could do it if you went up a level, but that required pushing some of the block. Oh, here we go. 10 skulls. Raikaru checking it. Floor Master room for Nat.
Big check coming up. 10 skulls.
It's a Goron tunic for Raikaru, which he just bought not 2 minutes ago.
Brilliant. Never buy your Goron tunics. It's just like a Hylian shield. Whenever you buy a tunic, you will find one in the next 5 minutes. It works like a Hylian shield.
Pretty much. That's why I don't ever buy it anymore, even though I'm not nearly as good as these runners. I try not to buy a Goron tunic unless I'm like at 5 or 6 hearts, like Raikaru kind of is.
It's a fire.
And I have the hammer, and even then, I might not. Like it might only be like, oh, I have the hammer and bombs, and I have the boss key for Fire Temple. I'm gonna go fight Volvagia. Let me do it with the Goron tunic.
This has been one of the driest seeds of this tournament, I think, honestly.
Blue rupees on the graveyard Heart Piece and Kagriko, Raikaru's going to do a shooting game. I assume that Anat will do the shooting
definitely.
game with the bow here. So
And
once
this
again,
isn't
they've
logic.
met up. Yes, it is.
I mean, the bomb bag could be hiding right here, which would be a very awful chain of events. You would need to get the silver scale. Wait, no, the silver scale was
You'd need
under
to get-
Ricardo, was it not?
Oh, yeah, it was. Yep. Yeah, so Silver Scale's out of logic here so far, too.
Yes.
Yeah, this is one of those seeds where...
Yeah, so silver scale's out of logic, which means all of Jabu and Zora's River and all the beans are out of logic. So it's unlikely the bomb bag's going to be behind. Right?
Oh, yeah. Yep, yeah, so Bomb Bag can't actually be behind any...
Well, it could
anything.
be the second or third upgrade. It could be, but it's unlikely.
Yeah.
Since they could be anywhere.
It could be like Hylia lab piece, heart piece, because the hook shot was Skull Mask,
True.
which is not.
True.
Although and then the bean wouldn't be required for that, so you wouldn't have needed bombs
adult
or Silver
fishing.
Scale. So, yep, adult fishing. Those two checks.
Right.
Those two checks are Sphere 1 checks because you only need the hook shot or you need bombs as a kid. And so it is always terrible because it is such a low sphere check, which means that it increases the chances of an important item being there, but they are so out of the way, especially without Serenade of Water, there is almost no reason to go there.
I think, okay, so the only checks
Hovers
they
the
have
heart piece
that
is
are-
not in logic.
It is not in logic. The only
Not in the
checks
tournament settings.
that are in logic right now are GTG, Lake Hylia, the adult fishing and Lake Hylia lab, and I had a third one, Sculpture 20. That's pretty much it. Oh, Epona, what are you doing there? Trying to get to the fence?
I like how they both are doing almost the exact same thing. Again,
Ricardo,
they've started to mirror each other. I think.
you're so neck and neck.
Well, Nat's gonna check the Boulder of Destiny, something Raikaru has already done.
Oh.
No, Pose.
True, pose.
Does Raikaru? No, Raikaru doesn't have an extra bottle, although he did empty his when he went into Jabu Jabu. So interesting that he's not going to do that, but Anat is going to pick up the Po in the bottle just to check.
Oh, he's leaving Epona behind. That's pretty rude.
Opponent cannot cross the broken down bridge. That would be awesome if you could ride opponent into Hyrule Castle Town.
Oh, you could ride opponent into Ganon's castle, say, "Hey, what's up, Ganondorf?" on your Epona.
The horse just runs Ganon over, and you're like, "Oh, I won." Oh, Tektite Grotto. This was a Din's fire on Pose. Okay, so that means well, no.
They're a magical way from entering Shadow and completing it.
So I think, and chat can correct me if I'm wrong. This would be big. If Stone of Agony shows up, that could mean that Shadow Temple is required because you cannot have a required item on Big Pose without the Stone of Agony being in logic available. Yeah, it's that weird thing where if you find the Stone of Agony, it essentially unlocks important items being placed on 1500 Horse Archery, Bigger on Trading Quest, Big Pose, and I don't remember what some of the other checks are. It doesn't mean for certain there will be something on any of those checks, but it just unlocks the ability that items will be there.
Having a very important distinction. Honestly, I prefer ACC's part here because he could pretty much do these two checks and get moving. And if he finds something big here, maybe GGG will become more efficient. Whereas Raikaru is just, you know what? I'm going GGG, screw it.
Yeah, this could turn out to be big if
This could be the race decider.
Well, I don't know about a race decider, but it definitely could separate the two. If something is, like you said, if something's on one of these three checks here, and it helps clear something extra in GTG, and then that has something in GTG, that could wind up being huge. But I don't know if it'll be a race decider this early, especially with how little. Like, it's not like both players are looking for 2 or 3 items. We're looking for a ton of items.
True. I mean, there's bound to be something in GTG, right?
Oh, I would assume that there's something in GTG, yeah.
I mean, Bottom of the Well had nothing.
And I don't. I'm sorry, when I said that if Stone of Agony shows up, it could mean Din's Fire was required. That doesn't mean it's an all dungeons race. It just means there could be something in the Shadow Temple, like the first or second or even third or fourth checks.
Or there could be
that is
something
required,
behind,
like the hammer.
a Haunted Wasteland or the Composer Grave or anything that requires magic and fire. Because that's possible too if Fire Arrows is in a bad location.
Yep. So we'll see. Like I said, it's very much like it requires what I tried to say and explain requires so many things to happen complex wise in the logic, like that you don't get and do get, and but I just had to. It struck me as something to mention. So, Nat checking child fishing. Raikaru is gonna free the carpenters.
Let's see if fishing paid off big. What did he catch today? Did he just quit and not hand it in, or did I miss that?
Well, and Nat fans pray that nothing is on adult fishing.
Did he?
He did not turn that fish in.
Oh my god. No, ATC, what are you doing? Someone get a SWAT team to him to tell him what he's just done.
Oh boy. My bad luck? Is this me? Is this my fault? Beryl missed a check in Deku Tree, and he just thought he totally forgot it, and it wound up being the only magic really that was available, and he lost the race because of it. And now, he was like, no, I thought I got it, and I just didn't get it. I never was going back. And now Nat just kind of turned in.
Maybe he just knows.
Maybe.
He just knows it's bad. He wanted to save those few seconds.
Wow, that's boy.
I can't believe this just happened.
That's one of those.
By the way,
that's one of those ones where it doesn't matter what it ends up being. We're gonna have to ask him about it.
Oh, definitely.
How long? I wonder if he'll ever realize it. But I wonder how long it will take before he realizes it.
I don't think he will realize it. Like that's not something you realize. You would you either realize it right then, or you think I've done adult fishing. It's out. It's gone.
I mean, I hate adult fishing as much as the next person, but I make certain that I make certain if I do it, I'm doing it. By the way, the Goron tunic, a like powder blue gray type of shade. Here comes the top of the wasteland. Or not wasteland, the top of Gerudo Fortress for Raikaru coming up here. Nothing on, what was that? Recovery heart for Nat?
Just recovery heart.
Diving? And Zora Tunic. Zora Tunic. Show it to us. Oh, it's a nice bright pink.
That's a pretty good color. I'll give it that.
Oh, no, but he's going back to the Goron Tunic. I like that color too.
I'm happy with Raikaru. He's shown us what the colors are.
Raikaru messed up his jump there. He's got one last Gerudo Carpenter to free, I think, and he kind of overshot himself.
Did a bit of a tumble, but he'll return shortly. Whilst ATC, assuming adult fishing is nothing, he's going to have to be going into GGG and is a bit behind Raikaru.
I was going to say, 2 of those checks didn't pay off. We just don't know what the third was.
Oh, ATC, how could you do this to us?
Oh no.
I feel like ATC makes the dumbest mistakes out of anyone. He's forgotten, he's mislabeled medallions, he's forgotten adult fishing. Oh man.
You know, they are in some cases defensible in a way, mistakes to make, but they are kind of surprising to make. Oh, ATC, like, that's one of those ones where you just, and we don't know if anything's important is on it, so we don't know if it's actually a big deal or not. It could be something that it could have been hammer, it could be a strength upgrade, it could be light arrows.
It very well could be. Like, I mean, yeah, GGG could be the item, and they all go off on their merry way, and Raikaru does adult fishing, and oh hey, here's the Megaton hammer. You know?
Yeah. I
mean, so we might not know the answer to this question for another hour or 2.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if Raikaru hits it on the way back out, or not. We'll see if ATC happens to think to himself, "Hey, what was on adult fishing?" I don't know.
It's probably just a blue fee. Probably nothing important.
Oh, I saw that Glitchy pointing out Raikaru struggled with. I saw Raikaru struggle on that last Gerudo fight. He apparently forgot to store a jump slash before going to the torch. which made that a lot more difficult.
It's okay. Just
should have been.
Hit the guard 20 times.
Yep, pretty much. So Raikaru is going to choose to do. He's going to choose to walk into the wrong Thieves' Hideout. He'll play. Okay, he'll play Sun's Song so that he's closer, and then he'll probably do Horse Archery and then GTG, which I think is a smart play because GTG still has requirements to reach things like say Silver Gauntlets and whatnot. Whereas if you find it on, where is he going? If you find it on Horse Archery ahead of time, it could be he needs rupees. If you find it on Horse Archery, it's just more efficient.
Yeah. I mean, now whilst it's out of logic, now's the best time to do it. Although you might end up coming back here. You never know. There could be something on there. You may as well check it.
Yeah, and he's going to walk back or run back in to pick up the last of the rubies to make certain he can do both Horse Archery games, just in case he doesn't get any money from the first one. Meanwhile, Nat crouch stabbing against the torch. By the way, the amount of time I spent killing what do you do to the guards? They like jump away from you. They like leap into the shadows, whatever. They leave after you defeat them. I went from spending like 10, 15 minutes in GTG doing all of this to now with the routing and the crouch stabs with the at the torch. It's like a 5-minute thing.
Oh yeah. I remember the first time I did this in my very first randomizer. It'd been a while since I played, and it took me about 30 minutes to remember which rooms were where. And now it takes about 5 minutes because I know what I'm doing.
Oh yeah, it's a maze. When you're not used to it, you're just like, I don't know where I'm going. Do I go here? Do I go there? What connects to the final carpenter? I got this guy. Do I go, out of here? And it's just, it's a mess. And then once you get used to it, you're just like, oh yeah, no, you do this route. Duh.
So if they don't get the bomb bag, what item do you think they'll be getting next? Like, what's the most likely thing, do you think?
If they don't get the bomb bag?
Because how I'm picturing
bracelet.
this, I'm picturing that the seeds at the moment is you're going to be getting bomb bag to do the dongo, to grab whatever song is there, and then it will just branch out massively from that point, I imagine. Because the bomb bag we know is locking Silver Scale, which means it's locking Sora's River, and that had the bow. So unless there's another bow somewhere, too.
Hammer would. I think Hammer unlocks everything basically into logic. So Hammer would.
Hammer would be the same as bombs in this case.
Magic would be interesting if only because Raikaru1350, he's got one shot left.
I think he'll be fine.
You only get one shot.
Look, did you see his sniping? He has pots in Child Spirit. His Child Spirit snipes were on point. See, he's got this. I didn't even worry.
I'm so bad. I do pots although I play on emulator and a PS4 controller, so I have an excuse. But I hit the pots the first time through, and then I got to do the targets on the backswing.
I honestly
it works. I can consistently get 1500. It's not pretty, but it's consistent.
One day I wish I could just machine gun the targets like some runners can.
Yeah, when I see them do that, I'm like, that's so cool. And then I try, and it's like jerking everywhere. And
you're going
hitting the target. I'm like,
30 points, 0 points.
So both runners.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to comment on the runners both basically doing the same thing with the Nat, a little bit behind.
It's actually quite strange, and I think had a slight lead, got the hook shot, which is massive, but then unfortunately you didn't really get anything, and you've really put G2G until last. If you're in this position, and I don't blame the runners for being in this position doing this last, because you really don't want to do G2G with so few items. There's not much you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of just worked out. Both of their routes have just ended up in the same position.
Interesting. So Raikaru had found 2 keys and decided to go to the right side, which means he'll probably save scum if nothing's there. Annette won't have to do that because he has Song of Time. There's the boomerang. All right, so Jabu Jabu is now completable. And double defense. Wow, GTG. I mean, even those 3 checks, like GTG's full.
I mean, you would definitely save after that. Although, okay, so here's the funny part, okay? ATC has Song of Time. So he can get those checks for free. It might turn out that Raikaru has to do the toilet later to get the final chest. Or something like that. He might not have to.
There is an outside chance that does actually wind up happening. Especially because they don't have a single strength upgrade. They might have to even if they get a strength upgrade in here, it won't be enough to do the push block for the final 4 checks in the back there. They would need to find 2 strength upgrades in here.
Oof.
So that's 4 checks that could have keys that might keep you from that middle chest. And depending upon what it is, yeah, that could actually wind up being important.
I mean, it's unlikely to happen, but I have seen it happen.
Slingshot Ocelot. First bomb bag on Baronade. Let's see. Hold on, let me think.
Well,
yeah. No, it's in logic.
Is it?
Yep, because the first 2... Oh, no, wait, actually, it's not. No, it's not. Sorry. Because the bow unlocks those 2 keys. My brain was...
As well, you could just go left and never get that boomerang. Because you don't have bombs for the BMOs, and that's out of logic.
Yeah. Yeah, GTG is weird due to all of the...
GTG has a very strange logic, because
yeah.
there's so many different ways you can do it.
It's a little bit like Spirit Temple, just because like all of the keys and having the logic mean that you can't key yourself
And you can go there as an adult and as a child.
Yeah.
And there's so many different ways you can do it. Oh, the logic in Spirit's a mess, if you think about it.
That's really why you try not to think too hard about the logic. You can use it a little bit, but you don't want to overthink it, because that's a bad idea. So, Raikaru's picked up the boomerang and double defense, but nothing else yet so far in
They've gotten all of the checks that are in the logic right now in GTG, right? Because the bow checks is out of logic. So really, it's just 20 skulls or adult fishing that's left in logic.
I mean, I think so, yeah. I mean, it is getting to the point where I am like trying to figure out in my head, I'm like, where is this, like, where was the progression?
I can't think of any other checks that keep everything in logic. They need a Megaton hammer or bombs to Scale being bomb locked or hammer locked is big, because it means that basically everything that they've done 4 items so far has not been in logic. Oh no! And that gets crushed by the door. Slammed. Now here's the thing: if it's bombs that's locking them, that's not too bad. They might find a bomb upgrade, and it doesn't matter. But if it's the hammer, that is big. If it's the hammer holding them back, they need that.
Yeah. They still do need. I mean, they still need. I mean, they don't need bombs, but they need more bomb shoes / the Goron bracelet for Dodongos.
They'll need to find some more bomb shoes if they decide to do this without the bomb bag. So it just seems GTG is just full of small keys right now, and it seems like most of the rewards are going to be in the center.
Yep. Which, is unlikely to, based upon the number of keys that they have. How many keys do you need to reach that center chest? Is it 6?
7 keys.
7.
Raikaru's going to need all 9, because he's already used 2.
Oh, okay, there's the Megaton hammer.
Oh. They're now fully in logic. Even though they've gone out of logic, everything they've done now is...
Yeah, I was just about to say, I think that actually puts them in logic now, because...
Unless there's some very strange roundabout where the item they need gives them the bomb bag.
Because if you go... Let's see... No, this is still out of logic, because if you go right, you need to kill the BMOS, which I don't think you can do without bombs. I mean, I know you can use a bomb chew, but bomb chews aren't considered in logic. And if you go left, you can't get past the eye room without the bow, which is...
The door is still open.
Bomb locked. Oh, is it still open?
It is still open, I believe, right?
Is it? I don't think it is. Maybe it's still open. You can
if
get past the eye room.
Then it's absolutely
okay. You can. Okay, I thought it was. Sorry, I thought it was locked.
Yes.
For some reason,
it's
you can't get past it. Okay.
Wow.
So, hammer is not locked. So that could be the first in logic. All right. Yes. Cool.
Sorry, I thought it was logic now.
Yeah, Bloody pointing that out. Thank you, Bloody. So that's wow. So that's interesting that that's what this seed asked you to do. May be asking what you were supposed to do. That's insane.
That's got to be one of the roughest ways to get some form of explosive to be in logic.
This is a seed. Look, there's Biggoron sword.
Biggoron sword is really nice because it lets you just do all of those fights, all of those boss 1 cycles so much easier.
Yep. And it makes Ganon. Oh, and that is gonna do the toilet.
Oh, he's mad. He's missing a key to do the final chest. He's going for it.
I mean, you might as well. Uh-oh. Raikaru won't be able to get to that final check in the maze.
Oh, no. We'll see if it's big.
So there are 2... So he's got 5 checks left, and 2 of them are keys, so he's leaving 3 items behind.
Oh, no, Raikaru.
And... I don't think that last chest can be a key in this situation.
Where were the other 3 keys that ACC is missing?
In the...
How many were in the central maze? I was not keeping count.
I don't think any of them were in the central maze, actually.
So that means they could be behind the Silver Gauntlets chests?
Yeah, I think they're both behind. The last 2 keys are behind the Silver Gauntlets chest. Or the toilet, which Raikaru is ignoring, which makes me think he's a sane human being.
He doesn't have the Song of Time, so he can't. He's about to get it.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't have some time. Oh, and he's going to get it now.
Oh,
or no, wait. Where was it again? It was
right here, I think. No, it was...
No, it was... Sorry, it was Minuta Forest. Yes. Yeah, so... But he is going to go into Fire Temple.
Key, thankfully. If that was a key item, such as, I don't know, strength, that would have been huge for AZZ.
And that is going to pick up his double defense and boomerang here. And it'll be interesting to see what he decides to do.
Well, he still needs to grab the hammer.
Just afterwards. He's going to be able to get that middle chest that Raikaru couldn't. No, Annette has the hammer.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it's just not tracked on there. Never mind.
Yeah, Annette, by the way, for us, we're watching the actual streams. Annette is ignoring his tracker at this point. Like, he has not clicked Dins. He has not clicked hammer. He does this sometimes, but I believe our trackers,
the ones on the
and my cats are doing an excellent job keeping them up. Yep.
Nah,
so
they'll
he does
have
hammer.
Fine.
Yeah.
So here's stream. I can't trust AZZ in his tracker.
So Raikaru was the one who dipped fire before, right? So he knows he's got the boss key in that first chest. He has decided to go along the right-hand side with the hammer and along the bottom and do those 4 checks, or those 2 checks.
To finish all of fire, then he doesn't have strength. He can't finish the Dongo without a strength upgrade.
Yeah, he might just do these first, and it depends upon what the key outline is, layout is. But he might do these for this check here, or these 2 checks along the bottom, and then the 2 checks in the very next room if he gets a key, which he should.
Yeah, honestly, doing fire right now is a good play. You need to do it all anyway. It's required.
Oh yeah. It's a medallion dungeon. Yeah, you do fire it pretty early here after getting the hammer. So hammer does unlock all of the checks in the Dango's Cavern, except for you can't, because he doesn't have a strength upgrade or bombs. He can't kill Dodongo himself.
Do you know what Raikaru forgot to do?
No.
He did not do the hammered rock chest outside GTG.
Yeah, I mean that's hard to do if you get hammer in GTG to then go back out and get it, but yeah, he hasn't done that yet.
The last race I forgot to do that. It turns out there was a required item there.
Oh wow. So 2 keys, 2 small keys along that bottom basement.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I think in the situation there, I think that you see what Volvagia is, and if Volvagia is a key, you go and you do the next 2 checks just because the chance that they're items is a little bit, I think, increased.
Yeah, because you know that 3 keys have to be at least in the early 5. Now, did you see that ice chest that ATZ got?
Yeah, the very middle chest there, yeah.
Pretty good, because now Raikaru isn't missing that check that ATZ has over him.
At least for Raikaru, it's pretty good, yeah. So, and that is... And he's not going to do the hammer check either. He is going to apparently go and do the... Well, he can't do the Haunted Wasteland check, but he's going to open the gate.
In case he decides to come back, he might say, you know what, I'm going to do Reverse Wasteland, and I can't open the gate. Because he has the card already.
Yep.
So,
yeah, that's the weird thing I never think.
We won't be able to see them do the Volvagia quick kill. Neither of them have bombs, and they don't have enough bomb shoes to pull it off.
Yes, but they have the Goron tunic. And Raikaru actually is doubly insulated. He has 2. He bought one and then instantly found one.
He is double insulation. He must be extra warm.
He's so warm, he's actually dying slowly as well because he's too warm.
He's got an internal timer.
Actually, it's the opposite of warm. He does have the bigger on sword, so it will be a little bit quicker here.
Ooh, I like that he hit Volvagia with the sword as she was going down.
Yeah, that was good. Good way of doing that. And that's actually going to turn into a kid, and it looks like he's going to go Jabu Jabu.
I mean, it's required. Now's a good time to do it. It was either that or Fire Temple. Perhaps he's hoping, I'll do Jabu now because I need to do all of it. But maybe there's nothing in Fire. I can leave it to last. And get the boss key. I don't have to do the rest of Fire Temple. It makes sense because Fire Temple is one of those dungeons, ideally, you would do last. Because the boss is at the start. You can get the boss key at any time and then kill Volvagia. And maybe there's nothing in Fire. If you can leave it all, you save a bunch of time.
Oh, Goron bracelet. Strength upgrade on Volvagia. Okay.
Maybe my ATC should have done Fire Temple.
Wow. All right. That's
Dodongo's fully in logic now.
That's necessary. Yeah, Dodongo. Yeah.
At this
Raikaru
point,
can full clear Dodongo.
Do you do the rest of Fire, or do you just go straight to Dodongo? I think you just go
straight to Dodongo. Yeah, there's no reason to go through Fire Temple until you start running out of checks again.
And you have Bolero. You can easily come back here.
Yep, and that's the other thing is that, yeah, you can definitely easily come back. So it looks like, and you know, depending upon what's in Jabu Jabu, but it looks like a Nat's choice to do Jabu Jabu over Fire Temple is going to send him back.
Not necessarily, because you still needed to do Jabu. And if he goes straight to Fire Temple afterwards, really, they're just kind of swapping checks. Raikaru will be doing Jabu eventually at some point, and ATC will gain the time back as he's doing Fire or whatever other checks that Raikaru's already done. So it might seem Raikaru will be a bit ahead, but ATC will have Jabu over him until that point.
A Nat?
Are you okay? And that?
I'm trying to think of what he's doing, and I'm very confused. He's gotten all of the... And the long shot in the hammer chest in Goron City. Holy smokes.
He can now do all of Water Temple. Oh, no, he still needs CL, but it's most likely Dodongo's.
Wow. All right. I did have a feeling that this is because of how dry this seed has been, it could be a seed that, like, just... Yeah, right. As soon as you find that one progression, it opens all the way. Like, it doesn't open up exactly, but all of a sudden, everything else comes in.
He doesn't have Serenade or ZL, so he needs to...
He doesn't have Zelda's Lullaby, yep.
Oh, what? And you know what's really going to be bad for ATC? Raikaru will do all these checks, and then maybe he gets Serenade, and then just dives in the normal way and saves a bunch of time not having to grab the chicken, and gain, like, 2 minutes over ATC.
Yep. And that's one of those interesting, again, you know, as a rando, it's just the way that it works. There could be another seed very similar to this one, except for Volvagia just has a key or a heart piece or a rupee.
Yeah, that strength changed a lot.
You know, yeah, and all of a sudden,
well, picture this:
Raikaru's decision is not to do.
Right? It could have happened.
Dodongo's is a required dungeon. Yeah, this is looking very, very bad for a Nat. If all of the remaining items basically are in the path of these dungeons, like say Dodongo's does give Zelda's Lullaby, and then Water Temple, you know, gives...
And then
hold on, whoa. Sorry. Jabu, Forest, Dodongo's. Raikaru has everything. He's essentially in Go mode minus slide arrows.
No way. Really?
Songs he's not, because he doesn't have Stars or Minuet. You can Mido skip. And then Water Temple, you need Zelda's Lullaby. I mean, you probably need Zelda's Lullaby. But
You're absolutely right.
And it's possible. And Zelda's Lullaby cannot be on... let's see, it can't be on Ice Cavern. It can't be on Composer Grave.
It cannot be
on Ocarina of Time. The only place the only two places that it could
Nocturne,
be
Prelude, and
it can be on Nocturne, yeah, but that's only if Water Temple's boss key is in that first chest that you don't need
the
Zelda
map
12 by
chest.
4. Yeah.
It's possible.
Because you need, in logic, you need as an adult to play Zelda's Lullaby to get into Zora's domain to be able to reach Ice Cavern. Yeah, he went, and he knows, Raikaru knows, he's essentially in go mode. This is crazy.
So let me get this straight. Okay, so they were like, oh, look at these random items. Gets the hammer, into strength, into long shot, and it's like, oh, I have everything I need now.
I mean, it is an excellent dungeon layout, like we were talking about earlier. Yes. You didn't need Din's Fire. You didn't need Mirror Shield. You didn't need Silver Gauntlets. You didn't need Hover Boots. Like,
we are missing one thing: magic.
Oh, yeah, but that's that goes along with light arrows in a way. Although you will not get a hint for magic along with light arrows.
But hey, when you find where light arrows are, then you know you might get magic on the way.
I mean, yeah, that's the other thing, is that you do some of the checks and see if you can't find magic.
Although, yeah, he's actually just skipping everything.
Yeah, I actually, I don't know. I don't know if you skip Dodongo's. It's so easy to do these checks. I don't know if, while you're still looking for magic, I don't know if you skip those checks, but he can definitely. Forest Temple could hold magic. Water could hold like, you know, he could be playing with the idea of, ooh, and he missed that first one. It is hard to get the
Is this the legendary Dodongo
bomb flower? It is hard with the Dodongo bomb flowers to kill Dodongo. He could be hoping to find magic on his path through the dungeons, you know, the other dungeons that are more like straightforward, like Forest Temple.
True, I mean, that is possible.
This is this is really nuts. Like how, I mean,
it just flips on its head.
It could turn into, now, Ganon could say something crazy like, "You'll never defeat me with these light arrows from the Spirit Temple," or something, and you're like, "Oh, great! Now I have to find
unique gold gauntlets."
Right? Yeah, now I've got to find at least like silver gauntlets and maybe magic, and you know, like in addition to magic and whatnot. So.
Best, the time to beat this seed, let's assume he finds magic and light arrows is on the way, let's say Forest Shrine.
Like
this could be like a 2-hour 30 seed, a 2-hour 30, 2-hour 40, potentially.
I mean, it does kind of depend upon where, like we said, like it depends on where the boss key is in water, and yeah, if magic / light arrows is in the path, like if you get both light arrows and magic in Forest Temple, because you've got to get all those checks basically anyway, just for the keys and boss key, then yeah, you know, you're like, oh yeah, no, I'm basically done with this game. So yeah, this is
pretty much.
This is one of, oh god, can you believe magic is, someone in chat, can you believe magic is on the fishing check and that goofed on?
Oh no. We might never know what's on there, because let's say it's magic, Raikou could find the other magic, for example. We may never know.
Let's see what vanilla prelude check is. I think that's what Raikaru is going to check here.
We're thinking it's the seal. If it's not, it'll be so interesting.
It's not. So Water Temple. Okay, so this means. Oh, but this means Water Temple is instantly, that map chest is the boss key. So Water Temple is an instant clear.
You're right. Yes, actually, it is.
Well, Water Temple has. What's the second spot? I know that the
if we're going by Raikaru's
map or compass,
tracker.
right.
Yeah, the compass as well. Yes, you're right. Because 2 songs are ZL locked. One is all dungeons, which is also ZL locked, and the only other one is Song of Time, going by Raikaru's tracker, which is Minuet. So yes, ZL is either it's Nocturne, right?
Yeah, it's probably Nocturne.
So it has to be Nocturne.
That's the only place. Yeah, that's actually, yeah, you're right. That's the only place it can be. So light arrows and magic could still be locked behind a ZL check, but it's, yeah, this is, wow. Yeah. What a seed.
So he's just going straight here, gonna pick up the map, or compass chest, grab the boss key, and get the hell out of here.
This is this is the seed that, like, it screws you early, and then you're like, oh my god, everything's come together, and then you get to Ganon, and Ganon goes, "You'll never defeat me with the light arrows from the Shadow Temple," and it's light arrows on Bongo Bongo, and it's light arrows on Bongo Bongo, and you're like, oh, crap.
When you looked at the seed thinking, oh man, Mirror Shield, Hover Boots, you're finding nothing. I was thinking, oh man, this is going to be like a 3.5 hour seed, 4 hours. Like, they're finding nothing. But because the dungeons are so nice, it's actually going to be quick despite that.
Yeah, this is... Wow. I'm kind of shocked at how quickly this has turned.
This is like a completely different seed than the one we started off with.
Wow. And that is going to clear Jabu Jabu. Hasn't found anything, so I think the only thing left is Baronade's Heart, basically.
Pretty much, okay, what it's going to come down to is, what is ATC going to do after this? If he does the same plays as Raikaru, then they're pretty much
and
close
there's the boss key.
There's...
Yeah, and that basically... and that has to
find that long shot and that strength. He has to do Fire Temple right now, afterwards. Otherwise, he's falling behind. I'm
trying to think if there's anything that he can find that would screw him up. If he found boss key here, or not boss key, if he found a bomb bag here, that might be problematic just because he might full clear Dodongos.
Mm-hmm.
And then he would maybe then go to fire afterwards if Dodongo didn't have anything.
How about this? If he finds magic, do you think he would consider Shadow Dip? Oh no, but he would need Din's Fire still. He has Din's Fire. He has Din's Fire. Oh yes.
I don't think that not with a medallion dungeon to clear. He would do hammer temple. He would do fire temple first with the hammer. He would not fall for Shadow with a medallion dungeon to clear. So he would be saved by the fact that there's a strength upgrade on. Oh, Raikaru grabbing Morpha right away. Nice shot.
That's a very quick Morpha quick kill.
Yep. Raikaru was like 230. I'll show you a 215. Yeah, no. Oh, we got away from him though. Never mind.
That's unfortunate. What have you done, crew? You're just glitching.
That's the commentator's curse.
Yeah, the commentator's curse. You're tripping him up. But he managed to recover that pretty well, actually. I'll give him that.
Stone of Agony on Baronade.
ADC's just gonna run around grabbing hints, and Raikaru is just like, you know what? I don't need any hints.
So again, the stone does not assure that there is something on one of the difficult checks. It just means it's possible.
It's possible, yeah. I honestly... You just cursed ATC because you know what you said? You said, what possible item could trip him up? Stone of Agony is probably the worst item he could have gotten because Raikaru is almost in Goma. He just needs magic and light arrows, and he knows where Ganondorf will tell him where it is.
I mean, that's the one thing that right now that can help a Nat catch up is, and I think someone pointed this out, finding a hint that says, here's where magic is.
Yes, that's the
only
thing. And
it being something slightly out of the way that Raikaru just doesn't really find right away. Now, Raikaru is going to probably clear Jabu Jabu very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
He may do Forest first, but he'll eventually clear Jabu Jabu.
But if it's say
probably will find
or something like that, then ADC will have a huge leg up. But he has to look for hints.
Yeah, I don't know if a Nat realizes though with the way that the seed has gone. If he basically has to go. He'll panic. Well, not panic, but he'll realize that things could be bad as soon as he goes back to being an adult, goes to Fire Temple, kills Volvagia, gets that, the strength, and then if he does also do the hammer check in Goron City and grabs long shot, he'll go, oh crap.
Oh, no. I think he's just skipping hints. It's cursed.
Oh, shooting the sun for Raikaru. Fire arrows, not necessary. Still needing magic.
Still needs magic, but once he gets that magic, he can do the things that require it, so Haunted Wasteland and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and that's actually vanilla fire arrows.
Fire arrows.
Oh, interesting.
I've never seen vanilla fire arrows.
I thought Raikaru was gonna go deeper into Fire Temple.
Oh no.
Yeah, he's going to Forest here. It really is one of those. This is actually a smart play by Raikaru because Forest is going to have a lot of checks, and if magic is on the way there, then this is bad for a Nat. This is coming down to where magic is.
He still needs to check Nocturne.
I mean, he doesn't have to. He doesn't. There's no unless magic / light arrows are locked behind his Zelda's Lullaby check. He actually doesn't need Zelda's Lullaby.
I mean, true. Because he doesn't need it for Forest. He doesn't need it for Jabu. He'll get it afterwards. The only thing that would really help him is the Zora Fairy Fountain. That's it, really.
Yep.
That's the only thing on his path requiring ZL.
All right, so Annette is going straight to Fire Temple. I keep wanting to say Hammer. Straight to Hammer.
The Hammer Temple. No, this is the best play he could do. Because now he's going to get the strength, and hopefully he finds the long shot, and then they're pretty much neck and neck again. If ADZ did not do this, Raikaru would be in such a heavy lead.
Well, we'll see. Annette will probably do the 2 checks along the bottom, which is exactly what Raikaru did. And then I would assume he'll then check and then he'll check I hope he checks the chest next to
I think he will.
the boss, yeah. If he doesn't and he goes deeper, the only way that pays off is if he finds magic.
We're going to come back to like player mentality though. Do you think ATC will go deep into fire? Or perhaps he'll do forest first? Because he can do all of it.
Yeah, he has already prepped forest. In the sense of he's done everything up until the push black room.
Yeah, that's true.
So he still has to find long shot though. He still has to find long shot in the hammer check along the in the Goron City maze on that left hand side.
Hopefully he remembers that. I mean, I don't know. He's forgotten to hands in the fish. I'm not sure if I could trust ATC anymore after today.
Oh man, if that winds up being magic, I will. Runners are going to be like, no, Grim can't commentate any of my races anymore. Someone always forgets of the magic check.
If I'm racing, I don't know. I'm hesitant for you to commentate mine.
Where are bombs, by the way? This has been pointed out before, but like...
well, they're fully in logic now. Who knows where they could be? They could be
Oh
anywhere.
yeah, no, I know that they're pretty much in logic. It's just funny that this is a Spike Vegeta special. We're finally having a seed where bomb bag's not required apparently.
Actually, the Dongos is out of logic technically, right? Because you need bomb bag for that to do the eyes.
No, Vega giving you the Goron bracelet, you could throw the bomb flower, and then everything else is hammer.
But there's no bomb flowers to light the eyes, right? You need the bomb bag.
Yeah, you're right.
But so ZL is technically out of logic still? Technically. Until they find the bomb bag.
This is insane. I don't understand. I'm so confused.
This is one of the most confusing seeds.
By the way, Annette, you have the freaking Goron tunic, dude. Put it on. I know you like the pink color as much as we do, but...
I don't blame it. It's a boring grey color. I would stick with the pink. He has enough hearts. He's a professional. He's got this.
Okay, I was just about to... He's gone past it twice. All right, well, you know what? If he pulls it off, then he's better than I am, so I shouldn't be complaining, but...
He'll put it on when there's 1 second left.
That's right. With a second remaining, he'll be like, I have the Goron tunic.
He wants to keep on that tunic for as long as possible, and I don't blame him. It's a beautiful color. So, Raikaru's pretty much just doing stuff that ATC has done, but he would have done all this in one route because ATC came here and he's going to have to come back here again. So he's lost a bit of time by coming here a second time, pretty much. The Song of Time hasn't helped him.
A little bit, yeah. We'll see. I don't know. I think that there is a positive to having started this dungeon.
Oh, I think so.
Because you've got to do the checks anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. And other things. So I wouldn't say that he's losing time by doing it as having to double dip it. But yeah, it is one of those things where, in the perfect world, you hope to full clear.
Like, it could have been ZL. It could have been Serenade to easily get to Water Temple, right? I don't blame him for doing it. And then Forest Temple's right there. It's required. So it's a fine play. It's just it hasn't worked out today.
Yeah, and Annette did. Wow, okay. Annette did get through. He did have to put on the Goron tunic, but he did get through Valvegia, so he will pick up the strength upgrade. And then what he does next will be a major impact too. He's gotta find that long shot.
Where would he go if he doesn't find a long shot? Maybe just head straight to Forest, forget about the checks above him? It's possible.
Yeah, he could. Yeah, it's one of those. He's lucky, quote unquote, in that he doesn't have actually Minuet of Forest warp directly to Forest, because I think that would increase the chances he would just skip any other checks and go straight to Forest.
Yeah, that's true. Like you would walk through Goron City, and it's like, oh well, there's the checks here. I'll do it. If you had Minuet, I'm just gonna warp there, right?
Yep. And because they haven't had bombs and didn't use the bomb choose on the maze, there is the chance that as he walks through there, he goes, "Hey, there are 3 checks all right next to each other. I should do these," as opposed to like. If he had already done the 2 bombable ones, and then he'd be like, it's the hammer one. I don't know if I want to spend the time just to do that one check.
That's true. In a way, not having the bomb bag is helping them out.
No, Raikaru. Yeah, Raikaru's still just doing a bunch of checks that Anat has already done. So
at this point, who would you say is ahead? Raikaru?
Raikaru's ahead.
Okay, never mind. Raikaru's ahead. ADC, why didn't you do those 3 checks? They're right there. Oh no.
Well. This isn't like. I struggle to. I always try and make it sound like race isn't over, because of course it isn't.
It's not over.
Strange things happen, but that hurts. That hurts because
it's not over by a long shot.
Yeah, that's right. It's not over by a long shot. That was unintentional. If I said that. But yeah, this is, and he's going and checking the one thing that he has over Raikaru. Information. He's got the Stone of Agony. He can make these checks, and if he gets something important off of it, like where magic is, or even light arrows in a way.
Mirror Shield was found at Kakariko. Slingshot didn't. Slingshot for no. Goma wasn't anything. It was a stone.
Yeah.
Slingshot in the game is nothing. So Slingshot is not that. Zelda's Lullaby. It's probably referring to Zelda's Lullaby.
Yeah, it could be Zelda's Lullaby. It could be referring to the Slingshot if that's necessary for, like, say, hover boots, and hover boots is somehow necessary. There are actually a lot of different ways that that way of the hero could be interpreted.
Ooh, I'd like to think it's Zelda's Lullaby, but it's possible. Slingshot into hover boots? Oh no, but they had the boomerang. They got the boomerang pretty easily, actually. So it can't be the Slingshot. Right? I don't think the Slingshot locked any way to get that boomerang.
Well, boomerang, maybe, I don't know. Boomerang was in GTG.
It's kind of hard to tell.
No, the boomerang was locked behind bow. Well, maybe it was locked behind bow. I don't remember. The first 2 keys that Raikaru used to go right was the boomerang.
Because you have to assume the worst keys, like worst key use.
Key logic in GTG. My brain's fried.
Yeah. Oh, that's kind of questionable whether it's referring to Slingshot, but I think you might be right.
I mean, I don't think it is, but there's a small chance it's likely referring to, like, ZL or whatever. But, like, that's why sometimes the way the hero hints are like, oh, that's not good. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, well, if you get, like, Kakariko Village, it could just be referring to the song. The worst one is definitely Hyrule Castle.
It could be referring to Bottom of the Well and the or no, it's not referring to Bottom of the Well, but it could be referring to the song in the windmill.
I don't remember what that was. Thing. I'm not sure if Windmill is referred to as Kakariko Village.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that, Bottom of the Well, ignore the Bottom of the Well. But the song in Windmill, I'm not sure. I think that's... It said Kakariko Village. Oh, because Hulson back makes up a good point. Could be Skulltula House as well.
Maybe.
We know 40 is dead. 40 is
dead. 30 and 50s
bombs.
We still need to know. 10 is also dead. 20 we haven't seen.
Yeah, we haven't seen 20.
Although, even if it's CL, that's still really useful information because Shadow's not required. It could have been a Zelda Lullaby the Sea, but you know something's behind ZL now. Potentially.
Potentially, yeah. It could be that something's behind ZL in the Bottom of the Well. So I continue my Bottom of the Well.
No. Here's what's happening. I know why. I think it's ZL for this reason. ZL to grab Saria's or Minuet in Ice Cavern.
Yeah, that's possible.
That might be what it's referring to.
Or it could just be ZL's to get to Ice Cavern.
Potentially.
And Ice Cavern has magic. Or light arrows.
Maybe.
Could you imagine if Raikaru finds magic somewhere along the way here in Forest Temple and doesn't pick up Zelda's Lullaby and Ganon's like, you'll never beat me from the ice arrows in Ice Cavern. He's like, man. Not that that's hard to do. You just go to Kakariko, pick up Zelda's Lullaby, and then walk back out. But
This would be such a weird scene. You're getting to Ganondorf, you know where the light arrows are, but you're still missing that magic.
I want to see, because I feel like we're making this a lot more like complicated than it actually is, but I want to see the log, just to see the logic that the seed created for itself.
I mean, essentially, it was, hey, you numpty, do G to G, go get the hammer. Yeah, I know you don't have all these cool items. Just go get the hammer, and then it all unlocks.
Yeah. Wow. Scale was no, because Scale was
Lost Woods, Deku Salesman.
Yeah, no, yeah, Scale was Lost Woods, Deku Salesman.
Yeah, the Man on Roof was Slingshot, and the Mirror Shield in there was Cow Heart Piece.
We have checked both Andrews, yes. I know that Nat at least did child chickens. I don't know if Raikaru did, but yeah, this feels like this is probably going to come down to where magic is. And whether or not a Nat ever finds the long shot.
So let's say they do all the required dungeons, they find where Light Arrows is. Where do they go for that magic? They would probably go to Light Arrows to see if they get magic on the way, but if it's not there, there's still 4 checks in Bottom of the Well, there's Ice Cavern, there's Shadow and Spirit, that's possible. Like, there's still so much in the game where that one magic could be.
Well, you can't, no Shadow without magic.
Oh, of course, yes. You can't do Shadow without that.
And unless they pick up the silver gauntlets along the way, they can't get into Spirit as an adult. You could. I have seen magic locked behind the that center torch chest.
The map chest itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good point, Waoshi. The very first in logic magic can't be in Shadow Temple. There can be a magic in Shadow Temple, but not like the first one.
No hookshot jumps allowed. A successful rule set.
I will say, I think that Raikaru, if he does not find magic here in Forest Temple, he'll probably go Jabu Jabu, and he still won't find magic. But if I'm thinking he'll probably pick up Zelda's Lullaby before he goes to Jabu Jabu. He should, so he can do the Great Fairy check in Jabu's domain, and then he'll probably do Bottom of the Well.
I mean, you're doing stuff as a child at that point. You may as well.
Yeah.
Although I think perhaps a better thing would be to do, once you've done Jabu, find where Light Arrows is, and then get all the stuff along the way. You might find magic along that path. Because magic could be Ganon's castle as well. Honestly, there's so many ways you could go from here. Like, you might decide, oh, you know what, I'm going to do Ice Cavern. Or, you know what, go find Light Arrows and follow that path. It all depends what these runners end up doing and where that magic is.
Yeah, it really does. Raikaru does have a pretty good lead. I mean, he is ahead in the Forest Temple right now, and he's got a whole dungeon up, which is water. Jabu's a little longer than water because of where the boss key was, but Raikaru's already found the long shot, whereas Anat's got to go back to Goron City to find it. So
if Anat just got that long shot and was in Forest now, I would say Anat was just slightly ahead because Jabu takes a bit longer than the Water Temple. Although Raikaru does have Serenade and Silver Scale, he can easily get into Jabu, like, very quickly.
Yeah. Oh, this really is all. I mean, right now, this is two things: where magic is, which is to both of them, we have no idea where magic is, and whether or not Anat can recover and find the long shot. Because if that's something that he ignores and does not find in a reasonable amount of time, that probably winds up being huge. Yeah,
it's devastating. Who knows? Maybe the way the hero hints will save him.
Maybe.
Oh, look at this double puzzle action.
Oh, and that is Anat has not gone to Dango's, and Raikaru has, and Raikaru skipped all of the checks except the one above Dodongo. So if magic's into Dodongo's cavern, that could be interesting.
That would be very cool. Because I'm not sure, would you go back to DC's Raikaru? Would you have so much other stuff? I mean, I guess
don't
it's
know.
So free. Like, I feel like Raikaru's
Yeah.
plan at this point is, I have everything to find where light arrows is. I might find magic on the way in forest because you need to do all the checks and they're most likely.
Yeah, this is why I was really kind of questioning him going straight through Dodongos, just because they're also like they're so quick checks.
True, I mean, yeah,
simple. You're gonna have it's a medallion dungeon. You're gonna be through there anyway. It just turns out. I mean, it could turn out to be the right play if magic/light arrows are elsewhere, but it's just such a peace of mind thing that you don't have to go back to it.
I can understand the play. I'm not sure I would do it personally, but I can understand why you would just rush through. Because hey, find where light arrows.
Yeah, there is an outside chance that Raikaru actually thinks he's behind, and that is impacting his decision to skip through Dodongo's cavern.
Maybe he thought, Skull Mask was hookshot, and it was right here. He probably thinks, ATC's definitely done this quicker.
Yep.
And he thinks, I need to catch up on time. Where in reality, he's just slightly ahead. Like, he has Dodongos and Water Temple over ATC, whilst ATC only has Jabu over him.
Yeah. Shadow who asked that question? Faith, yes. Raikaru, I think he's behind. Yeah, the hook shot on the Skull Mask. And Raikaru has a lot of respect, as pretty much I think all of us kind of do, for ATZ.
Yes.
I mean, ATZ's been the top runner. He's the one that's put together a bunch of the help videos and everything about Rando. So,
and the stats don't lie. Like, between the races, ATZ has won a vast majority of these races, and that's not counting qualifiers. That's counting 1v1s as well. That these two races have done.
And that is the other thing, is that a Nat was a big, like, Raikaru went to a Nat at the beginning of randomizers for help in how to, get better. And Raikaru did a lot of 1v1, like you were saying, work with a Nat, and that really helped him. And part of the reason why Raikaru has gotten as good as he is because basically, for lack of a better way to really put this, he trained under a Nat. So there's a lot of respect for that.
So what you're saying is the apprentice is going to outdo the master. Is this the dark side of the force? The student
has now become the master.
Oh no. Darth Raikaru. What are you doing?
I've told this story, and I think it applies here. Raikaru, I heard this is all secondhand. I heard this from other people, but Raikaru and Anat, when Raikaru did go to Anat, they watched one of their, they played the same seed and then they watched back their rando run side by side. And they noticed that, like, Raikaru lost 15-20 minutes in dungeons alone to Anat. And it was just one of those things where, by the way, nothing's been in forest.
No, nothing has been.
This is why we're talking about other things. But, like, that was how, that was a huge difference, like, just in routing too. But, like, Anat was making up 15-20 minutes in every seed against Raikaru at the beginning, just based upon the dungeon play. And that was one of the, things that Raikaru worked on and that helped him with. So I think that a lot of that's still there. And a lot of runners, are...
I think Raikaru just put on some Rocky music, did a Rocky montage of just doing temples.
Basically, yeah.
He's putting on the weights for Forest Temple. He's going through fire and water. And then at the end of it all, he's matching ACZ's times. So let's see how well they do on Phantom Ganon. Phantom Ganon can be annoying sometimes. Like, you see that? Sometimes it just doesn't hit.
Yeah, and sometimes like there, like with Raikaru, sometimes it just doesn't, you hit it, but it just doesn't hit Phantom Ganon.
And then he goes far if you wait too long, and then you're in a volleyball match to the death.
But if you do use the bow, it's used if you have the Master Sword and no Obegaron Sword. Oh, he missed again. Yeah, I don't know if there's really a way to, like, do that correctly. There we go. All right, so Raikaru should have. See if Nat has more luck, and he does. He's gonna get the easy single cycle.
And now they're pretty much neck and neck in terms of, like, where they are.
Yep. And Junis points this out. These are our number 1 and number 2 seeds in the losers bracket. One of them's going home after this match.
Yes, one of them's going home. You would think number 1 and number 2, you think you'd be watching the finals. No, this is a losers bracket match. How they got here is a wild story, but at the end of the day, one of these races is going home.
So Forest did not have magic, as Raikaru probably hoped it would. So this could be big. I think... Oh, no, Anat's going to run away. I was going to say, Anat could check the Gossip Stones here around the Deku Tree if he wanted, but...
I think he's just going for hints that are on his direct path. He doesn't want to waste too much time.
Yeah. Yeah, he probably doesn't realize that, right, without having found the long shot yet, he probably doesn't realize that Raikaru is ahead of him. When he finds the long shot, he probably will go, "Oh no." Just because it's one of those things where it was like, "Oh, if someone checked this on the way through here, and Test of Thieves is on the way of the hero,
Well,
obviously."
You don't say. See, this is the annoying thing with Stone of Agony this late. It'll tell you things you already know.
Yep. And Nat is going... Okay, so Nat's going to go back through to go to Dodongo's. Let's see if he finds long shot. I don't think he will. He prioritizes dungeon clears here, so...
Please go up.
He's going to full clear Dodongo's first.
I know you're right. I think he's just going to ignore it. Please, ATZ.
Oh, no, he's not! Prove me wrong.
The moment he turned right, he was saved.
Okay, and this is now a race. This is a race now. We are in a race. I'm so happy. I was worried that...
Alright, I am really happy as well, because now they're going to be equal in items. The difference between these two races, ATZ has Jabu over Raikaru, whilst Raikaru has Water Temple, which is really easy to clear, because Boss Key was the very first check, and DC. And ATZ is at DC right now.
Yep. So there are... I mean, I have to give a slight lead to Raikaru, but they are very close.
Yes, they are very close.
House of the Dead holds lots of nuts. So...
I think they need to go to Shadow Temple just to get those Deku nuts.
Yeah, I was really worried that Magic was going to be in Forest, and then Nat was not going to come back here and get the long shot, and it was all going to be over from there. But
I mean,
we got ourselves a race.
If Magic's in DC, oof, what a blunder by Raikaru.
And Nat takes a lead if Magic's in DC, and Nat checks all the DC checks.
At this point,
I don't see a Nat skipping checks. I don't.
No,
you still need Magic. You still need light arrows. I don't see him skipping checks in DDC or DC. Don't listen. That's a Dota player. DDC.
Finds nothing in the Summer Souls Grotto and is going to be heading to DC.
Now I said he won't skip any checks in DC. I said he was going to go straight to DC and skip the hammer checks, and he went back for the hammer checks. So what do I know?
I don't know what to trust anymore.
Yeah, water was beatable without ZL.
Yes, this could be a run where you do not need Zelda's Lullaby.
Okay, all right. So ATZ does look like he's going to do the checks here in Dodongo's Cavern. All right, cool. Whew. And yes, I have seen this pointed out in chat. May as well mention it. There is a chance that Magic could be in Ganon's castle.
It is possible.
Because you don't need Magic to get the 6 medallions, which will unlock the Rainbow Bridge. They could put both Magics in Ganon's castle. Because just as long as you have all 6 medallions, you have
access
Magic.
To everything.
Or you have access to Ganon's castle.
It's possible. If that is the case, I think Raikaru might just have this.
Yeah. And yes, so Shadow Magi, this is going to be a little bit of lost time. If Magic's not in Dodongo's Cavern, it could be lost time for an Nat. There is a chance that Raikaru, if he doesn't find Magic somewhere along the way, goes back to Dodongo's Cavern at some point, though.
Or the light arrows. That would also save some time for an Nat, because Raik would have to come all the way back here.
Yeah. More Deku sticks.
I don't think Anat needs the Deku sticks at this point. He's gone past that point.
And I wonder, I think Anat knows, I assume he knows at this point that Zelda's Lullaby is locked on Nocturne of Shadow check. So he knows Water Temple Boss Key is in one of the 2 first locations that you don't need ZL for.
I mean, you can just tell by the logic of the songs that that's the only place it can be. So he probably knows Water Temple is super easy to do.
Yeah. So that might be what he might use that as to an advantage of his oh, I can full clear DC because oops, missed the switch there. I can full clear DC because Water Temple is going to be quick. Raikaru making his way through Jabu Jabu, making it to the that center. What do you call it? Parasite to unlock the.
Is that what they're called?
Yeah, they're like parasites. I think that's what I call them at least.
I just call them salami. I don't know what their real name is.
I always thought like the lore of this was that that Baronade is essentially a parasite living inside of Jabu Jabu, and you are essentially performing Honey I Shrunk the Kids style surgery on Jabu Jabu.
Chucks him in. Okay, but to be fair, you see the size of Jabu. There's no way this entire dungeon fits in there.
I know. Well, yeah, but like I'm not that old. But there was a movie where someone shrunk down to be tiny, like molecular level, and got into a super small chip that went inside someone to like perform surgery / save someone from someone else who had shrunk down. I don't remember. There was a movie about it. Don't. There was a movie about it, and that's what filled my head when I started talking about parasites, and you're like moving through it, and the Kokiri sword. Oh, fishing everywhere. All right, one more check that Raikaru did not do.
If child fishing has the magic, though.
That too, yeah, child fishing.
All right, what we got? No, unfortunate. I mean, who knows? Light arrows could be on child fishing as well.
The movie was Inner Space with Martin Short and Dennis Quaid. I googled it.
I've not heard of this movie.
Sorry. Anyway, all right, moving on. Apparently no one has heard of this movie except me. Oh boy.
Moving on. Raikaru finishing off one of the easiest bosses in the game with a single jump slash of a Deku stick, and AZZ is finishing up to Dongo and grabbing the Forest Battalion.
Oh, hey, look, there are people in chat who know what I'm talking about. Cool. All right, good. Yeah, no, my brain was like, oh, it's that movie. Oh no, Raikaru. Okay, that Octorok is like my arch nemesis. He's even worse than Ganon.
He knocks me down all the time. I've never had issues.
This guy's a jerk. This guy has shot me out of the air multiple times and hits me there, and like he hits me there as I'm climbing up, and Link decides, oh, this means I have to jump to the left all the way, and I'm like, that's not what I was doing.
Nah, that Octorok's cool. His name's Jeff. He's a cool guy.
Oh. I don't know. Jeff for me is not a cool dude. Jeff is a troll and not a good.
Oh, maybe you just gotta go talk to him. Maybe you upset him.
Maybe.
So Raikaru hopefully will get this quick trick to quickly hit the switch, and will be heading on his way to Baronade.
And that is an advantage over a Nat. Nat had to do it a couple times and then had to give up and go to climb the central pillar.
So Raikaru just saving a bunch of time, just purely on execution. Although I think AZ had a very nice Baronade kill.
Yes, Raikaru's Baronade kill was... Mwah.
Magnifico.
Exactly. By the way, I think Baronade, for like the quick kills, Baronade is one of the most rewarding bosses for the quick kills for me. Like being able to get the quick kill right away like this. Oh, and Raikaru doesn't get it.
Doesn't get it.
So close. And now I don't understand. You just like sit here and wait and keep throwing the boomerang, hoping that it like, oh, that's interesting. Okay, throw it into the ground, and then on the backswing, hope it comes back up and hits him. I see that.
The backup I do is I throw it straight and side hop to Baronade, so on the backswing it stuns him.
Oh, interesting. So Raikaru will be getting through Jabu Jabu. Nat,
I'd say they did roughly the same amount of time. Raikaru having advantage with the quick switch, but having a slower Baronade. Alright, ACC.
So here's a question. What does Raikaru do? Does he go straight to... I'm assuming he goes straight to Ganon's castle.
Yes.
But does he do any checks in Ganon's castle first, in the trials?
Yes. I think you do. Oh, that's Stone of Agony, though. I would, because you're still looking for magic, and they're all easy checks. Like, they're pretty much freebies.
Zelda never gives anything important. What are you doing, Annette?
He's gonna grab the song. It's actually good.
Oh, okay. Sorry, brain was like, why are you going back to being a kid?
He's going for child fishing, don't you know? He got the Kakiri sword.
He could be.
No, he's going straight to that water temple. And it's actually a pretty smart play, because if he decides to go straight there and didn't check this, he would have actually lost like a minute or two.
Yeah.
Both runners playing Serenade at the same time.
Yeah, and Raikaru's gonna take the owl back to Hyrule Castle and then go to the Temple of Time, and he'll, like we were talking about, he'll probably go straight to Ganon's castle. At least to do, I would assume he'll do a few of the checks, but he'll probably also do in the trials, but he'll also get the hit like. All right, so here's
check the 4 stones outside the temple if he so chooses.
Oh yeah, yep. That would probably be smart. There's a chance that the magic thing would be on there.
At this point, I wouldn't really check too many hints because you only need 1 item. What are the odds it tells you where it is, right?
Yeah, and magic could be back in water.
It's possible. Oh,
it has been, chat pointed it out, but yeah, magic could be back in Water Temple. The game's like you find the boss key.
Well, let's think about this.
Then you beat Water Temple.
Kakariko was Way of the Hero.
Yes.
CL's required. Was it required for Water Temple? Great Fairies?
Well,
I'm assuming it's referring to ZL.
Right, yeah. All right, here we go. Ocarina of Time teaches Minuet Forest. 50 skulls is a bomb bag. And 30 skulls is just arrows.
So all the skulls are dead.
Yep, we know that all the skulls are dead, and Nat only knows 40 skulls is dead, and Raikaru only knows that 30 and 50 are dead.
Yeah, true. CL could just purely be required to get Saria's now, because we know Minuet is all dungeons.
Someone please tell me that the in-logic bomb bag is 50 skulls.
Wait. No way.
Supposedly out of like the 100 skulls you can reach, almost like 52 of them are reachable without items or something crazy like that. So it is somewhat possible. Oh, by the way. Nope, okay. And that was actually going to go for that check and then decided against it. I thought he was going to go for the other map/compass check, but he's just going to be like, no, I do have the boss key. I'll go kill.
Yeah, he can come back.
Alpha.
So I would say Raikaru is about 3 minutes ahead, I want to say.
Oh, no. He's a good 10. Yeah, I'd say he's about 10 minutes ahead.
10 minutes? AC only has...
Maybe not 10, but 5 to 10. I mean, if you think about it, all right, let's see. So Raikaru hits Ganon's castle for the Rainbow Bridge animation at 2:30:20.
Okay.
And that's got to kill Morpha, get through the cutscene for Lake Hylia filling back up, get back to the Temple of Time. Yeah. I mean, it depends. Yeah, 5 to 10. I'd say 5 to 10. Yeah. I'd say it's probably closer to 5, like maybe like 5 to 7, just depending upon, you know.
And it could all turn on its head. Raikaru is 5 minutes ahead. That's great, but it could turn on its head. We saw that last race. Glitchy was actually like about 8-10 minutes ahead, and it all reversed based on just where Bloody went.
And Raikaru is just going to go straight for the light arrow hint.
Oh yeah, I would probably do this, honestly.
Neither runner has Ferora's Wind, so you can't. You won't be able to work back up. Oh, no magic.
No magic.
Yeah. So let's see if Raikaru did take the time to shoot. Well, he still had to do Jabu Jabu, and he was looking for magic. But Raikaru did take the time after beating Water Temple to shoot the sun. I would assume that a Nat will do this. Yeah, I'll assume a Nat will do the same thing.
Although they have Sun Song, they could just always come back. But it's a good one to do right there, because you might have to play Sun Song twice, wait for the day-night to cycle. You may as well do it right there.
Yep. All right, let's Lineback asks, what places are left? Let's think. So Ganon's Trials, except for basically Light Trial, is open. All of the Great Fairy checks, except for I think Ganon's Castle 1, is now open. Ice Cavern is open now, because as long as they go back to Kakariko, and that is Zelda's Lullaby.
4 bottom of the world checks.
Yep, 4 bottom of the world checks.
Adult fishing.
Adult fishing. Annette has done some of the bottom of the well checks, but did not do the 4 that are locked behind Zelda's Lullaby. There are the 4 checks behind the Silver Gauntlets push block in GTG.
There's Fire Temple and Water
Haunted
Temple still to
Wasteland.
finish.
Yep, there's a lot of Fire Temple, a lot of Water Temple.
Not Haunted
There's
Wasteland.
Full Spirit, Full
because
Shadow.
Mm-hmm. There's so much to do.
Yeah.
And like, if they get Silver Gauntlets, Spirit Temple.
Yeah, really, it's going to be interesting. Raikaru is going to get a little bit of a lead here because, I mean, he already has a lead because he's already up to Ganon, but like, where Light Arrows is going to be interesting because if it's somewhere really simple, then you still have to search for magic.
Where is it? Ganondorf, tell us.
Oh, you need magic locked. That does not help.
That's a really easy one to get, though. You just need to find the magic. Oh, where could that magic be? Light Arrows is in the Haunted Wasteland.
All right, so Raikaru skipped the toilet in GTG. It's unlikely that he goes back there. This is smart, right, Car? This is actually smart, yeah. Going through trials to see if magic's in here.
He needs to find magic. The instant he finds magic, he's going straight to Haunted Wasteland. And then he's straight to Ganondorf.
Also, if he finds... Also, one of the other things you're looking for, I think, is Silver Gauntlets. If you find Silver Gauntlets in here too, all of a sudden going back to GTG is not a terrible play because there are a number of checks in GTG still, and it's on the way to where Light Arrows are anyway. It's not like great, but it would at least give you direction when you're basically directionless at this point.
Now, AZZ's actually opting to check the chests first, and if magic
I think that's smart.
If magic is in here, he'll save quite a bit of time because Raikaru would have to climb the tower again.
Well, Raikaru's gonna. I mean, Anat's gonna have to climb the tower no matter what, twice, no matter what.
True.
Anat's gonna have to go up to get the hint, and then he'll have to return because unless he finds magic and Ferora's Wind in here.
That would be nuts.
Yep.
But what are the odds of that? I mean, that's just not gonna happen.
Oh boy, I mean. There are a lot of places left to open. I mean, the one good thing for the runners, at least, is that Shadow Temple's out as a check.
Shadow Temple is dead.
You can just ignore Shadow Temple completely. You cannot, however, ignore Spirit Temple. I mean, you can't get in right now, but as an adult, Ice Arrow.
It's not a randomizer run without those.
That's right. It's not. Turn them into blue fire. Turn them into blue fire arrows. Piece of art. This is tense. This is really tense because they've both basically gone slightly opposite directions. So now Anat's going into the forest trial, so he'll be doing the forest. Yep, forest checks.
It's ring around Ganon's castle.
I think that's it. I think that they've both done the same checks. Yeah. Basically, Raikaru's done the checks that Anat's going to do, and Anat's done the checks that Raikaru's going to do, and there's nothing in here.
It all depends where they go from here.
This is a wild goose chase.
Who's got the better balls?
All right, so let's think here. Raikaru has checked the 4 stones outside the Temple of Time, and Nat did Nat? I don't think he did.
He did.
He did. Okay. Is there another place that's got a number of checks that you could look at for Gossip Stones? Because if you find the magic hint, that's huge. Yeah, Annette checked those.
Okay.
Annette checked those.
Yeah. Honestly, there's not really many places as dense as those two. There's Lake Hylia. There's 3
Lake Hylia is the one that I'm thinking of. Yeah.
I don't know if you go for that. They're so far apart, especially now that the water's been raised. You have to swim to them rather than backwalk.
Yeah, you could conceivably.
I mean, you could backwalk around the edge.
I think you can still. I think you actually can still. Yeah, I think you can still backwalk along the edge. It's not like. It's not terrible, but yeah, you don't really want to do it. Although at this point, the information could be huge. I mean, yeah, if you don't find it, then a hint for magic. Yeah, that's a problem. But
I mean, it could be adult fishing.
Oh God, it's adult fishing. I really hope it's not, just because I don't want to see another race like that.
Okay, on one hand, I hope it's not, just to keep the race in check. But if it is, what a joke that will be. ATZ will be kicking himself.
Oh man! And now ATZ does have the Kokiri sword, so he has child fishing unlocked.
You know what's even funnier? It's the magic again. He was gonna be best buddies with Wooden Barrel.
Yeah, I know. Wooden barrel again. Yeah, and Raikaru. So Raikaru will probably get Zelda's Lullaby here off the Kakariko, off the Nocturne of Shadow vanilla check. And that's going up. Yep, and that's going up to Ganon, by the way, for the light arrow hint.
Oh, yes. I mean, it makes sense to get Zelda's Lullaby because you're going to be going around the overworld checking for hints. There's so many random things like fairies that you may as well get this and then be far more efficient with your checks.
This is tense. Oh, Raikaru's got 20 skulls. Oh. This could be it. Nope.
Oh,
all right, so
skulls are dead.
Yeah, so we know skulls are dead. Raikaru knows that 30 and 50 are dead. I don't think he's seen the 40.
No,
and
but
Nat
I think
does
at
know
this
that
point, he's gonna just ignore it, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he's gonna ignore it. I'd ignore it. Unless I see a hint for it, for 40 has magic, I'm going, all right, nope.
Where is the worst place magic can be? I would say Light Trial. Needing 2 upgrades.
Yeah, both. I mean, both magics in the Light Trial, or one magic in Light Trial, one magic magic locked. Yeah, that would be the worst. And yes, so Zelda's Lullaby was on Nocturne.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you could go Ice Cavern.
Statso, magic on bowling.
Oh.
With magic on bowling? With the Light Trails has a magic and 2 bomb bags, and the only in logic bomb bag is on 50 skulls.
Oh, no. Please don't be that.
Wow.
Okay, if that's the case, there's no way you go for that 50 bombs until like...
Oh, no. Yeah, that's the last thing you do.
I would rather do all frogs than do that.
So Raikaru is going to go Ice Caverns, which I think is a smart play.
There's a lot of checks he can do around there. It's very fast. He's handing in the letter. Most of the prep work for doing Ice Cavern is handing in the letter itself. AZZ finally getting the light arrows.
Did someone know? Did he save before he entered Ganon's castle or that Ganon's room?
I don't know.
Because if he didn't, he's got to do all those fights again. He did. Okay, cool, good. I was
he definitely did.
Because my initial reaction was, oh, that's so smart. You don't have to wait for anything. And then I went, but if he didn't save.
No, he's safe, fortunately. Since AZZ deciding to do either Deep Fire or Ice Cavern as well.
Oh, no. I mean, not oh, no, but just ATZ is going to do a fire. I was really hoping these guys would go, like, together. Oh, okay. So now both of them, they've got to be, their hearts have got to be pounding.
So now they've finally diverged. They're going to be doing totally separate stuff. It's an absolute free-for-all between these juggernauts. Whoever finds magic has pretty much won.
We do already know that the Sun Song Grave was nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So magic can't be there. And the Royal Tomb Torches, you need magic, so...
I think I prefer Raikaru's choice. There's more checks in here. It's a lot faster than Fire Temple.
Yeah, the concentration of checks is higher in Ice Cavern than it is in Fire.
It also gives you Sarias. It could be Saria locked.
Yep.
I mean, I'm assuming it's Sarias because Minuet is all dungeons.
So, and that is kind of following the whole idea of what has been happening in a lot of Siege, which is always full clear Fire Temple because this Siege Randobot is crazy. Okay, so King Zora only has Blue Fire. The Blue Fire for King Zora. Mido House is on the way of the hero. That was...
Rudo's letter.
Rudo's letter, right. Okay. So that doesn't say anything, yeah.
Because you need it for Jabu. Yeah, these way the hero hints have not been helpful. We found 3 of them. We're missing 1. We found Kakariko Village, Chest of Thieves, and now Mido House.
There is magic. TZ found it in Fire Temple.
Always do Fire Temple. Always do Fire Temple.
Oh boy. So the only hope that Raikaru has
magic
is
has to be here.
Second
it has
magic
to be right here.
In the ice cap.
It's just an arrow.
Oh man.
AZZ just knows. He is
Fire Temple.
Dissected Randobot.
And now ATZ will reverse Wasteland to that haunted Wasteland location, pick up ice arrows, pick up light arrows, and then Oh boy.
Honestly, I'm surprised because
Yeah.
AC had the entire world at his hands, and he picked the one correct one instantly. He went straight to that fire temple.
I mean, recency bias is said Fire Temple has had the items. It's like almost a lot of these tournament seeds have seemed to have important items in Fire Temple that normally you wouldn't have looked for, and yet it just showed up there.
Oh man, Raikaru has to find magic pretty much in the next 2 minutes to have any chance.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
so
the
close.
only way
What
he's
a
coming
race.
back is if ADC does the walk of shame and dies on Ganon. But yeah, this has been such a close race. It has been neck and neck until this very point.
Yeah. And Raikaru is, I mean, it's still very close. He's got to basically instantly find, I mean, even if Light Arrows was in the very first check, or Light Arrows, even if Magic was in the very first check here in Ice Cavern, it's still a ways before you get to that first check. I mean, yeah, this is, I mean, and Nat's going to have a couple of mistakes on Ganon and die on, or on Ganondorf and die on Ganon to have to do the escape.
He could forget to jump slash.
But he could forget to he could lose his stored jump slash and wind up having to hit Ganon 10 times, but
yeah, it's possible. We've seen that happen.
Wow, that I want to see, by the way, someone find the log and find what Adult Fishing had on it, just because. I mean, that's interesting. Like, just because. I just want to see what was on that, what we missed.
The more interesting thing is that was that magic behind the wall in Fire Temple, or the open one?
It was the open one.
Oh, the open one.
No, wait. I thought that there was a key behind the bomb, and then he went to the open one, and that had magic.
See, it's bomb locked. So
maybe
it was
in bombable in level room. Okay.
Could you imagine this seed expecting you to do 50 skulls to get the magic, and you just say, "Nah, I'll just use this bomb shoe."
I don't. Where the heck was the bomb bag? Was the bomb bag in lot? Like, I don't understand. Like,
I mean, it's in logic right now. It's 50 skulls.
I mean, yeah, that is true.
It's possible.
Give me the log. I want to see if Randobot really did say, "Here, have the first in logic bomb bag on 50 skulls."
Have fun with that. I mean, it kind of makes sense because, well, Megaton Hammer pretty much covers what bombs do, except for very certain circumstances, like blowing up walls in Dodongo's cavern. Otherwise, they do pretty much the same thing.
I actually believe it is in logic if you have a strength upgrade in the hammer to full clear Dodongos. You don't need the bomb bag. Or no, you do because of the... Never mind. Stop listening to me. You need the bombs for the eyes. So supposedly bomb bag was some...
Alright, so ADC is
bomb
the
choose
first
Tomo McGeorge.
to reach Ganondorf with the light arrows. Let's see how well he performs. He has the big Goron sword, so one cycle should be very easy to do.
Yep. I mean, the nerves could be there. So we'll see what winds up happening. Raikaru doing the next couple checks in Ice Cavern. Really, like, I mean, he really needs to hope the second magic's here to have any chance.
I mean, the magic was right there. You had to do fire. Maybe ACC's panicking.
There's a chance. There's an outside chance. He also could be thinking to himself, though, that if Raikaru was in a similar situation to him... Oh, yep, there's the one cycle. If Raikaru was in a similar situation to him where it was like, yeah, you need to find magic in any of these random places before you can even get light arrows, then Raikaru might be, or Nat might be thinking, I picked Fire Temple and got it within, like, seconds. You know, there's a good chance that Raikaru decided not to go Fire Temple.
I suppose you could also be thinking, okay, the magic was here. If Raikaru did Fire Temple at this point, I feel like he would have won by now. So now I have the magic. I think maybe ADC might be confident in that case.
Yeah, there's a chance that Raikaru, that Nat's got a bit of a spider sense in that regard of like, yeah, if Raikaru had gone Fire Temple, he would have already finished, or would be finishing.
ATC on the way to Ganon. Unfortunately, Link has a bit of a loose grip on that sword. So let's see how well he does.
Oh no, Raikaru!
Raikaru's gone. Raikaru, please.
No!
We'll never know if he finds magic in Ice Cavern. He froze. He froze in the Ice Cavern.
He froze in the ice cavern. No, Raikaru.
This has been such a crazy scene. Not because
yeah.
of it. It was honestly, I would say this was an easy scene. But
By the way, this is still a sub
logic-
3 seed.
Still sub 3. This felt like an easy scene, but it was really confusing and complicated.
Yes, it definitely was.
Like, oh. One more jump slash done from ATC.
Yep.
Ganon sits down, cleaned up by ATC. And that's that. What a damn seed.
Wow. I really would like to see the log. Holy smokes. I mean, this was back and forth, and Raikaru seemed to have a lead for the longest time.
Raikaru did have a lead.
I mean, yeah, it was. Wow.
2:48, 40 seconds. At least on ATC's track. This timer. Well played.
I might add.
GG.
Yeah, GG, Raikaru.
Alright,
Excellent.
are we gonna invite the runners in for an interview?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if they're willing.
Alright, I'm...
Always finish Fire Temple.
Jeez, yeah. That's the meta play
By the
now.
way, do we invite them both in or just one at a time? What do you guys
Nah,
prefer?
invite them both in.
Both is fine by me if they're
Alright.
willing, yeah.
Alright. GG to the runners, and I'm glad I was able to restream this race and watch in horror as I face my next opponent.
Hey,
That's right, yeah. ATZ and Glitchymon will be facing off in the next round. And yeah, welcome ATZ and welcome Raikaru. GG, guys. And well played in that for the win.
Thanks.
So, what did you
Alright,
think
there
of
we
that
go.
seed, you two?
GG.
That
Too dry of a start.
That's one of the
Yeah.
driest starts I've seen. You found all the items for the dungeons you didn't need to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I didn't find Dins, but
Oh yeah, true.
I think that's the only thing I didn't
Oh, that's
find.
right. I want to ask. So, Skull Mask was the beginning with Hookshot, and I think that logically the next location was GTG to find the hammer. But
Yeah.
What were your guys' thoughts as you went to as you were looking around and finally got to GTG? Because you both were there around the same time, actually.
When I
was-
realized,
Go
you go
ahead.
first.
I was just gonna say I was basically out of stuff. I had like nothing left to do at that point. So I just went GTG, especially because we had Epona super early, and we had Hookshot and a bow, or at least I had a bow at that point. So there was just a lot of stuff that we could do over there.
Right. All right. So
I decided to go to it. I realized it was a much better play than any of the child stuff I did after Hookshot. Way better. So that was a
That makes
mistake.
But, can I ask you a few questions, Raikaru and ATZ?
Go for it.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, so, I mean, how do you feel like, how do both of you feel like you played? How was your execution and your routing, if I may ask?
Garbo.
Not great. Not as well as I can play. I think my routing was okay, but
This was the worst I've played in a while.
not great.
And
What would you say is the things that held you back in your play, Raikaru?
No bomb bag.
Oh, no bomb bag. Well, bomb bag was 50 skulls. Maybe that was the
That was
first one to
probably
get.
logically the first one, yeah.
Oh, by the way, ATZ, what you actually skipped? You went to adult fishing and you skipped it.
You did not hand the fish in.
Wait,
What?
wait, what?
You
You
didn't
never
hand the
handed
fish
the
in.
fish in. You quit.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Did you just
Yep.
do that
Oh
again,
my
Matt?
God.
This is the Torch Chest and Zora all over again.
We need to see the log and see what it was.
Where's the log?
Someone, I think somebody demolished it.
I'm so sad. Why?
The log has disappeared. There's too many races going on.
Oh,
Destroy.
AC, you need to
finale,
go
demolish.
back there and finish that adult fishing. We need to know. Reclaim the fish that you
Wow.
lost.
That.
now I'm curious.
God.
So I want to ask, because you guys were neck and neck. I think Annette, you were maybe 2 to 3 minutes behind Raikaru going into Ganon's castle.
Oh fuck! Really?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
were ahead.
It all
What came
turned
after magic?
into where magic was.
You
So,
were both in
I mean,
Ganon's
Annette,
castle at the same time.
Yeah, so Annette, you picked Fire Temple first, and it wound up being where one of the magic at least was. What was your thought process in regards to making that play?
I didn't have Minuet. I didn't have a really good way to go ice, which was probably my only other option. I didn't have strength, didn't have anything. So I honestly thought at that point that I was ahead because there was a hook shot on Skull Mask. Like as soon as I found that item, I was like, all right, that's probably a wrap, just like based on how Raikaru plays. But
Raikaru
then,
did Skull Mask, I think, about 30 minutes after you, 20, 30 minutes.
yeah,
20 minutes.
I was questioning it a little bit because based on how the seed was, there was like literally nothing we could do after a certain point, and you like basically needed the hook shot to advance.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe there was a chance that he would have went and got the Skull Mask, but right when I found it, like 20, I don't know how, I found it like 30 minutes in, and I was like, all right, cool, like that's a huge advantage for me. So at that point, I was sorry, but yeah, I was just gonna say I basically thought that I was way ahead at that point, so I was just gonna make the safe play of going fire. And then it just had magic. So,
would you say your confidence was diminished when it turned out GTG without all these key items was locking everything with the Megaton Hammer? Because at that point, both of you exhausted everything, and then you did GTG.
I don't know. I wasn't too sad about that GTG. I figured
kinda
hammer had to be
expected it.
pointing to something, but I
The
wasn't sure.
hammer location is kind of funny.
Yeah, I forgot the rocks too. Like,
Oh,
right after
we
that.
know
I just
Same.
like
Both
left.
of you did not do the rocks. Yeah.
Yeah, I had that
Okay.
in the back of my mind for a while too.
Now I want to find the other magic.
And Raikaru, you ATZ did not skip Dodongo's cavern, at least all the checks, but Raikaru, you did. What was your? I'm just curious what your thinking was there, because you still need magic.
I booked it.
Why? Why would you
I
do
was
that?
going for light arrows, and then I was like, "Oh wait, I don't have magic." Well,
Good
I
thing
hope
there was
it's not
nothing
in
in
there.
Dodongo's.
okay, you skipped a bloopy on adult fishing.
Okay, good.
Still, you did it again.
At least
Yeah, we were all very, very confused.
I swear, the other magic's gonna be in like light trial or shadow.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you didn't skip that one chest in Zora's Domain at the bottom.
Yeah, for once.
So when you saw where the medallions were, seeing there's no shadow, no spirit, but you had Mirror Shield, Hover Boots. I think ATC had Tid's Fire from Cow Heart, I think. No, that was Mirror. But my point is, what were you thinking it might be all dungeons at that point with all these miscellaneous items you don't need?
I was a little bit scared, yeah, but once it got to the point where magic seemed to be the thing that was blocking us, I was like, yeah, okay, there's no way. Just has to be
Yeah.
something else.
It was in the back of my head, but like Annette said, magic was the priority. So it killed Shadow Temple completely once we got the medallions.
Yeah.
Right. Based upon the way that the seed played out, where the songs were located, we were able to determine that essentially you were supposed to beat Water Temple without Zelda's Lullaby. Did you guys, which meant it was in the first 2 checks, did you guys realize that pretty early on as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figured. I've had seeds like that before where I've had to do Water without ZL.
Actually, this run you didn't need Zeal at all, right?
Not at all.
Yeah, I didn't even get it.
I got it, but because I went.
I knew where it was, but I
Damn.
wasn't really thinking about it.
I
Wasn't too
should have been
concerned.
safe and played fire. I should have.
Always finish fire.
Oh hey, a bottle of milk in the hammer rocks. Sweet. Oh well.
But yeah. But it is an incredibly tight race, this entire thing, until the very end.
Yeah, you guys really were neck and neck going into Ganon's castle.
I would say
It
at
was
most
really-
you were 5 minutes. Maybe someone would go ahead for a little bit, but at most it was 5 minutes between you two throughout this entire race.
Yeah, it did go. It went back and forth. ATZ, you did get the lead with that early hook shot on Skull Mask, and then
Oh, but that long shot though.
yep, the long shot. Yeah, Raikaru made the play for Fire Temple ahead of Jabu Jabu. So and that was you were in Jabu Jabu, and Raikaru was in Fire Temple, and Rai, you found the Goron bracelet, went to clear. You then found the long shot, cleared Dodongo's cavern, went to Water Temple, like. Everything kind of fell into place for you, whereas Anat went through Jabu Jabu, and then it was really a question of whether or not you were going to find the long shot, Anat, to keep it close.
At first you went past it, and then on the way to Forest, you went up and grabbed it, thankfully. Oh, on the way to DC, actually.
Yeah, I just thought that was better routing to go
Oh, yeah,
Forest
it's
first,
better.
and then it would put me right outside Lost Woods, so I could just do everything. This seed actually sucked. Like, no strength and no bomb bag, and DC was fire medallion. That was so bad. The whole time I was just like, all right, please give me anything so I can do DC.
Yeah.
I'd like to know whether 50 skulls was technically required in Logic for the Dodongos.
I really like the bomb chew count throughout the entire seed. It was pretty bad.
That was so rough.
There was
Yeah.
so
I have
few
one bomb
chews.
chew left. I had to save scum that thing 5 times, I think.
Yeah, I had to route things pretty awkwardly. Like long shot, I feel like I would have found way sooner if we actually had more explosives than 2.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we just didn't have bombs at all for the whole run. It was really bad.
But Riker, I want to ask you a quick question.
Yeah.
How did you feel when you bought the Goron tunic and then you went to get the skull
Oh, fuck
reward?
that. Fuck that. I got scammed.
I mean, Riker, I mean, you could. I was just thinking to myself, couldn't you have done fire with 6 hearts?
I could have, but I didn't want to.
Okay, that works.
I also wanted to show off colors. Also, the colors are garbage.
Whoa. Sword Tunic was pink.
Yeah, I forgot to
Garbage.
put it back on for the end of the run.
Oh.
By the way, did any of you consider buying carpet shoes? Was that an option in your head?
Yeah, I was considering it
No.
for a while near the end.
I was not. I was literally just save scumming my choose every single time.
Because I was thinking, if you save scum more than 5 times, wouldn't you think that might be more efficient to get carpet shoes in the amount of time you take to save scum?
Yeah, probably, but you know, I kind of delete that guy from my memory. I
That
hate
guy's
him.
a scammer.
I do not like bomb choose and logic because of that carpet salesman. The fact that he exists.
But does anybody have any questions for each other? Have anything monstrous, Grim Fairy, anything for the runners?
No, I'm out.
And
Yeah,
We don't know where any
Ron-
items are.
Where
well,
was the
we
other
won't-
magic?
We won't either until
We don't
Trez
know.
wakes up, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
Because people generated, I think, the seed, and we can't find it. It disappeared. But Raikou, ATZ, do you have any lasting comments, questions, anything at all?
Fuck Fire Temple.
Glitchy. You
What?
know what time, man.
Also,
What'd
yes,
you say, ATZ?
Nah.
You know what time it is, man.
tear him apart for me.
That's the plan. I'm not gonna
round
lose
two.
a second time to him.
You are not gonna lose.
It's
Why,
the
why
rematch.
would you be so concerned in losing a second time to me? What's the big deal about losing to me? I don't understand.
It's embarrassing.
Losing
wait,
once
what?
is okay, but losing twice, don't really. That just can't happen.
Okay, I have a question for you. I have one last question for you, Raikaru and I think guys did similar routes, but well, I want to ask Annette, what was going through your head when you did that area in Goron City? I've never seen that movement before. So you went Goron City, or you went after you got Lon Lon, the songs and everything. You went to CAC and you did Skull Mask stuff. Do you feel that like that was efficient? Like, what was going through your head when you did that? What are you trying to get?
I just wanted to get Skull Mask because I skipped Lost Woods. So my plan was basically just to go do everything all at once. Because I figured just based on how Raikaru plays, if something was on Skull Mask, then I probably won. But obviously we ran out of stuff. But at that point I was like prioritizing Skull Mask. I wanted to go get it right away. So
Right.
the other thing is because we didn't have that many explosives. Like if we had a bomb bag, I probably would have went through Lost Woods to Goron City and did all that stuff. But because we didn't, I just went and I did the loop around Death Mountain Trail, and then that gave me daytime to be able to get the Skull Mask.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I've never seen that kind of movement before, so I was a little bit confused. But any more questions or comments from anyone?
See, I figured you would rush Skull Mask somewhat because I don't do it, because we know how each other plays. Like,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that's the thing about this race is that both of us know like exactly
Yeah.
what each other is gonna do the
You
whole
two have done
time.
a lot of 1v1s.
it's like
Yeah.
dancing around. Like, would I not do this? Would I do that? Like, how are we gonna cut each other off? That's like the biggest part.
Okay, yeah. What was there? Like Annette mentioned, Skull Mask. Was there anything else that you guys did specifically because it was a 1v1 race against each other that you maybe normally wouldn't do?
Ocarina game and chickens.
I did Ocarina game. I didn't do chickens yet.
There was nothing. But 1 out of 3 is still pretty good.
Bottom of the well was a
Skull
trap
Mask.
as well.
Oh, I never went bottom of the well. Shit.
Yeah, there were
I
two
did
bottles
that.
in there.
There
I
was nothing.
hate going without ZL. Period.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was actually very surprised because I would normally think at the end, I would normally think that both of you would go ice because ZL was on Nocturne, so I would think that'd be the logical in-logic place you would find magic. So I was a little confused why magic wasn't fire. That was pretty silly.
I think I see why. Okay, so Ice Cavern was a little deeper in logic than it would have been for Fire. Fire was technically an easier grab. Like, talking about specifically like things you needed to do to get to it, Fire was a lot easier than Ice Cavern. Problem is, bomb bag.
No problem.
50 skulls.
Yeah.
How is
it
it
was
that
bomb locked magic?
50 skulls and magic being the last go mode item fucking me over again? Randomizzer has it out for me.
I just want to know if 50 skulls really was
Yeah.
the in logic bomb bag, because
Who were the other two?
I'm trying to think of where another bomb bag would be in like even out of logic. You guys had done so much.
I mean, it could be Ice Cavern, Fire Temple.
There was
Shark
one
Spirit.
last check in Ice Cavern before I forfeited.
You know, there were still checks you guys. Well, no, because that room, to get out of that room, you need an explosive, and you didn't have bombs. I was thinking about Spirit.
Oh, true. Though there are still the two checks up there you need to do.
Well,
No, you
yeah,
can't
but
get that.
you need explosives. Yeah, you
No
need explosives.
silvers, no explosives.
So yeah, so you couldn't. Yeah, wow. Where?
Oh yeah, because you didn't get key, right.
It has to be 50.
Yeah, it has to be.
Must be. That's crazy.
And yeah, can't be Ice Cavern. Zeal is behind Dodongo's. Water Temple, but that was behind Dodongo's again.
You both. Well, there was. I mean, I doubt it, but there was the that top chest, the other map compass checks. Both of you got the boss key right away, so you didn't check the other.
So it could have been the one other Water Temple check.
Maybe. I mean, I feel like that's just as unlikely as 50 skulls, though. So.
And now I've got to go down and check that chest. It's like bothering me.
By the way, ATZ, I have a quick question for you.
What's up?
Who do you fear most in this tourney so far, aside from me?
Aside from you,
You were an option glitchy.
ooh, it's actually a really hard question. It's hard to call because the bottom half of losers is really far behind right now. So I don't know who is gonna come out of that. But other than that, I actually would probably say Bloody.
Yeah, I agree.
He's been playing really
Yeah.
well throughout the whole thing, and he
Funny
has a
thing.
style that's similar to mine too, which is just being kind of conservative and checking like pretty much everything. So I don't know. I feel like that's one that I could definitely lose.
I used all 3 file names. I named myself an ATZ, BB, and JFM, the top 3 people I feared in this journey.
Mhm.
Like, bleh. All right, let's go get this last water temple check.
It must be 50 skulls then.
Well, I haven't gotten it
I mean,
yet, but
yeah, wow. Yeah,
if it's not this, it's 50 skulls.
yeah, because you need bomb bag to get that through Dodongo's cavern, which was Forest
Yeah.
Medallion, which yeah,
it could be deeper fire. Fuck.
it could be deeper. Yeah, it could be deeper fire because you guys had the keys to get through it. Wow.
That's so silly.
There's a lot of stuff that could happen in the seed. Like this seed felt really long, but we didn't really do that much just because we were
No.
locked out
Right.
of everything.
It was a very restrictive seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate whatchamacallit, seeds that just tunnel you hard.
Yeah, there was so many bottlenecks in this one. There was the hook
Yeah.
shot, there was the Mega Sun Hammer, there was the magic, there was bombs.
This seed really was basically just bottlenecked through until you got to Ganon's castle and basically went, all right, where's magic? And that was the time when it was kind of like, all right, it could be bottom of the well, it could be fire temple,
Yeah.
it could be,
It's anyone's
know,
game.
possibly somewhere in spirit if you ever found silver gauntlets. Like that was as open as the seed kind of got.
Oh, the other water temple check was bomb juice 10-pack. This seed hates us.
Well, it wasn't a bomb bag, but it was bomb
Close
choose.
enough.
Wow, this is crazy.
That's not so good. But anyway,
I swear, the other 2 bomb bags had to be in light trial. But yeah, go on.
But I was just gonna say, I think we should be done our interview. I don't believe anybody has any other questions, and
I want to know what
I want to
Fishing
hurry
has.
up and host people so our viewers can watch someone entertaining, I guess.
Yeah.
What? Us talking like this is entertaining enough for you guys? Huh?
Well, a static screen and one's
I'm
going
joking,
over
Glitchy.
names
I am joking.
isn't as entertaining as gameplay, so
I need to go.
I think we are going to cut stream for ZSR, but we're going to host someone cool. But thanks so much, Raikaru and ATZ, for coming in, running, and putting on a show. We really appreciate it. And I hope to, Raikaru, I really hope to see you in the next tourney, possibly. Like, I'm looking forward to that.
Oh yeah.
And then you can beat
Definitely.
ATZ up
I
in that
hope,
one.
I hope you're feeling okay about the matchup. I hope it was fair for you.
Eh. I mean, the only person I was gonna be okay with knocking me out of the tourney was Anat. Everybody else, I feel like I had a decent chance against.
Would you say this is one of your favorite seeds that you've played?
Fuck that. It's like one of my worst. Only thing worse is first strength upgrade on 50 skulls in a trials.
Oof.
Ooh, boy.
Yeah. Well, just want to give a shout out to Mike Katz and Sonic Shadow for tracking for today as
Thanks
well.
for
Thank you
tracking.
guys. Much appreciated. So ATZ with the win, of course, sets up, in case you didn't know, Glitchymon in losers round 4. We are still in a couple other matchups. JFM and What the Hell Has Happened is round 3 winners bracket, and Juke and Marco is in losers round 2, a little bit ways behind. I think that what's the next scheduled matchup?
Take a
I
look
think
really
the
quick.
only other one is JFM and what the hell's happened. Pretty sure. I'll check right now though.
Yes, yeah. So
Yeah.
JFM and what the hell's happened, and that's not until Monday, November 12th.
Dang.
Oof, it's a long time.
But thanks for commenting, guys. I'm gonna
Do the thing.
Thanks all the viewers too for watching.
Mhm.
Appreciate it.
Thanks to everyone for coming, watching. Thanks to all the trackers. Thanks to the racers, and thanks to Grim for putting up with me.
Yeah, no problem. Of course, anytime.